Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here.
Hey, Bob.
You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. Fan Friday, only on A2D Radio. Every show we're brought to you by our doc, make them yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Jake Friel, Brian Daly joining us tonight from the Hockey Happy Hour. And everybody out there that's with us, tune in for a long one here tonight, and we're hoping to get you guys the call in per se. And all you got to do is come into our DMs. Slide on in. Hopefully you're safe, and we'll send you the link, and you guys can hop on and discuss anything you want to discuss tonight. Everything's always on the table here at A2D Radio, but we wanted to take the fan experience a little bit further for you guys. Obviously, we're big advocates on reading off as many comments as we can and making you guys feel like you're part of the family, but this takes it to another level. So that's what we're trying to bring you tonight. So we'll do the call-ins throughout the show. Probably, after the first 45 minutes, we'll start getting that rolling. Sixers news and notes. Not a lot going on. Obviously, just Ben talking about moving in with Joe, and that's always fun. So really the notes you need to know for right now. NFL biggest surprises. So that can be players, teams, etc. We'll give you 3 to 5 of them. If it's not a team, it's going to be some players. So there's a lot out there that you could choose from. There's some rookies having really good years that are surprises, and some vets too. So we'll talk about it and disappointments. We're just talking about surprises. You want to add in a couple of disappointments because you're a Negadelphi type of guy? Feel free. Time's yours. Top Eagles, 26 and under. So if you had like an expansion draft tomorrow and you can only keep 3, who are you keeping? Good luck. I don't know how much time you're going to need. You know what I mean? You can get back to us. You can get back to us later on it. If you want to just tune in tomorrow at some point throughout a show. If you need a week to figure that out, that's fine as well. So, dive in on that. Eagles top players under 26 that you would keep. So who are you keeping? If you can only choose 3, all right? You can't lose into an expansion draft. You might just say, hey, take them all. Pack their bags. Take everybody with you. That's fine as well. We'll preview Eagles-Packers. I don't know what there is to preview. I don't know what I want. That's going to tie into the poll question. Brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCKservices.com, 20% off. Telling the boys from A2D Radio sent you for all your gutters, gutter guards, gutter needs, gutter installations. They got you covered. AmbuckServices.com, 20% off. Telling the boys from A2D sent you. Eagles fans should hope the team doesn't win another game this season. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download, join the conversation. Tell your friends, tell your family. Let's go. Let's talk about it. I listen. It's not an easy one because if you're talking about like, oh yeah, we need more talent, so we want a top 5 pick or a top 6 pick, then yeah, you're gonna say like lose out. Losing out's never fun for anybody. It depends what you want. Like some people want everybody fired, not just Howie Roseman. Some people want this whole organization gone, top to bottom. They want a full clear out. So you might agree. You hope they don't win another game because of that. And you feel like that's the only way you're going to get that. And there's other people that are going to feel different types of ways about this, right? For different reasons. Me, I'm just like, I want them to win games so the city doesn't burn down almost. I don't want them to lose out. I don't want to be more than a dumpster fire I already am. I already see this organization going in a bad direction. We're going to be talking about in a few minutes our top Eagles 26 and under. Think about that. And we're going to be grasping at straws. So, like, at the end of the day, the only thing to keep me from grasping at straws, 26 and under, is then win a couple football games so that there is some bright spots. Because the only thing that's going to be – you're just talking about Top 5 picks are all great, but you got to hit them too. And that's just one player. I think we're looking right now that we need a lot more than one. So the only way we're going to get there, one, is by drafting well, obviously. But two, hopefully we don't play horrendous down the stretch where there's some young players where you're like, okay, he has a skill set. I can say that's a guy I want to keep. That's a guy I believe in for the future. There's not many of that. We talked about this week in and week out. Who are the superstars? I don't know. Who? I mean, you're hard-pressed to find one. And people are going to tell me there's guys, but, might be really good players, not stars, not franchise changers. That's what we're looking for. But the only way you're going to be able to put like a guy like Miles on that list, a guy like Dallas Goedert on that list, and really believe in it is by us winning some games down the stretch here, maybe winning the shit division, who cares? And starting to believe in some of this younger talent a little bit more. Right? Because right now I don't believe in any of it. I mean, you could try to make a case for Dallas Goedert, I'll probably slap you upside the head. You can make a case for Miles Sanders, I'll say, what? I mean, you're talking about an offense that can't score points, and we're going to start putting guys on the list that we got to keep. And they're you know what I mean? They can't go anywhere ever. And I'm not taking shots at either one of them. You might put Jalen Reagor on the list, and I'm going to laugh. I mean, we're all going to be putting guys on our list because we're searching. You know what I mean? And we're going to come up with a list regardless. But you can make the case that nobody. So Eagles fans should hope this team doesn't win another game this season. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Chime in. Join the conversation. I disagree that you should hope they don't win another game. I don't go into seasons like that, especially a season that I expected more, right? So a season I expected more. I'm not – the difference of 5 picks shouldn't – or the difference of 15 picks shouldn't be a big difference to me. I should be a good enough organization where I can hit picks anywhere. I see teams do it all the time. So we shouldn't base losing out on that alone. There's teams that stay in the top 10 every year and they don't get better. You know what I'm saying? Because they're bad organizations. Right? I don't want to be that organization that's always reaching for the top 10. That feels like, oh, that's the only way we're going to get better. No, how about some of these young players that have been drafted here show a pulse over the next X amount of games, right? Show us that they belong to be here. Show this team's actually going in a better direction than we thought, which might not be a great direction. But, I mean, you're talking about $52 million up against the cap next year or over it, and then we're having conversations that we can't even find that many players under 26. I mean, that's not a team that I'm saying lose out, because I'm thinking about the other way, because there's been a lot of drafts used to acquire, air quotes, assets and rebuild through the draft since the Super Bowl, right? 3 drafts since the Super Bowl. And I'm going to sit here and say I don't want to win any more games because I want a top 5 pick? Shit. No, I want some of these guys to come play football. It'd be nice. I'm tired of hearing about everything else but these players not being good enough. So I'm going to disagree. I'm not a guy who's hopeful for losing. I don't care how bleak it is. I don't care how bad it is when you wake up and you're like, oh man, does it even feel like Sunday? Does it even feel like Sunday, guys? Like, feels like more of a Tuesday. Maybe we're going to go Wednesday game. Maybe we're like the Ravens and Steelers. We're playing on a Wednesday afternoon at 4. You know what I mean? Like that. I never want to feel that. I felt that for too long in this city, through different spurts, different eras. I felt that. For a lot of the fan base that might just start in 2017, y'all haven't felt that. You know what I mean? Y'all don't know what that is. For you guys that started under the Andy era, and that's when you first started becoming a fan because that's when you're old enough, etc., whatever the reason may be. You don't understand this like a guy like myself. I mean, you got to be aged out to understand this, to understand what you went through in the 90s, right? And what you went through before that. I mean, really, the 90s is when, I started watching and really became a diehard. I don't want that again, guys, because all the top picks didn't do shit because we weren't a good organization. And the only way we're going to stay a good organization is it's obviously, we got to probably move on from Howie Roseman. It's time. But it'd be nice to look back at it and be like, okay, maybe you didn't miss every draft, right? I mean, that's not what we want here. That's not what we signed up for. And I sure as hell didn't sign up to lose out. Not on purpose. Not on purpose. Talk to me when there's all new in here and you've told me we're in total rebuild mode. You understand what I'm saying to you guys? Like, tell me when we're in total rebuild rebuild mode, like the Sixers were and other teams, right, in this organization, and then I'll buy into that. All right? And John says he agrees because Jamar Chase. Listen, bro. John, I love you. I'm not in the business for another goddamn wide receiver. I mean, this is asinine. So every year we're going to pick one in the first round or second round? There's so many more holes on this football team outside of this wide receiver. I'm best player on the board. If Jamar Chase is the guy when we get there in May, so be it. But I'm not even there right now. You know what I mean? I'm not even there. A guy sat out a whole college season, too. I mean, you got to factor these things in. Game speed, boys. I don't care what you say. You're going to tell me sitting out makes guys better. Sure as hell doesn't. I don't care what he did at LSU last year. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? He's a freak. He's a specimen. I get it. But I'm not in draft talk yet. You know what I mean? I'm just not there. I understand it, but I'm just not there because, we got so much more to go before we're at that point. In terms of knowing who the general manager is, who's making these selections, right? So we can't even gauge who we would take. We don't even know who's going to be on this roster in May. You know what I mean? So it's hard to know who what we need. We might need Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? We might need Parsons. Or the list goes on to other guys. You know what I mean? I don't know who's going to be on this roster in May. I just don't know, and nobody knows. Nobody knows right now. Nobody's got crystal ball on this roster. Trust me on that. And if you do, please call in tonight and tell us that crystal ball on Fan Friday here at A2D. Where all you got to do is DM us, right? Come down to our social platforms, DM us. We'll send you a link, and you can jump on with us throughout the show, and we'll give you a couple minutes to get whatever you need off your chest. So, boys, Eagles fans should hope the team doesn't win another game this season. Do you agree or disagree? I'm going to stand firm on this. And it's not because I don't think they're good. It's not because I think they're good enough, and it's not because I think anything extra. I'm just going to go a different route for the sake of argument because we don't have much talent under 26, and I want to see some of these kids play better so I at least have some goddamn hope. Because right now, in Week 12, there is zero hope for this franchise moving forward, it looks like. It's bleak. So how about some of these young kids start playing good football so we can at least say, all right, the cupboard isn't bare as we thought. I'm not saying win a division. I ain't talking about that right now. I'm just talking about winning a couple goddamn football games. That's all I got. I'm ever up for waking up to lose. Y'all wake up to lose. Time's yours.
Well, Tom, you say that, you're going to go a different direction for argument's sake, but you're not going a different direction than I am because I agree with it. I disagree with the poll. I understand how bad of an organization this is. I know how bad of a football team this is. Number one, I can understand the Jamar Chase or the Micah Parsons or whoever we're projected to pick in the top 5 if we got a top 5 pick. Whoever that guy is for everybody at home and for everybody in here, I'll ask you this. What's the guarantee that they're going to make that pick? You trust them to make the right pick? How about just a pick? That makes sense. I don't. We have to assume, given the way this organization currently is, the way the rumors are flying out the window every single day, every single hour, it seems that it doesn't seem like Howie Roseman is going to be showing the door anytime soon, especially this offseason. And I understand that doesn't completely guarantee that Howie Roseman has a full role in the draft like past years. Doesn't matter. Nothing's guaranteed here. So who would I be? And I'm not even talking about as a fan because it's different. I mean, we have to look at this obviously as a fan, but also what's best for the football team, not only this season going forward. If we embarrassed ourselves both on offense and defense every single game for the rest of the season, you know what that tells me? Well, then I absolutely have no hope going forward. And I don't understand. I don't care if that propels them to, finally fire Howie or Doug or clean house and possibly trade Carson. Well, we've talked about it before. Carson's not getting traded. He's not. Name a team that's going to take that, take what we have. And then are we really going to take that cap hit? No. We've talked about that numerous times. So I would like, and I understand this is coach speak for some people, but I would like to see who our quote-unquote core is, regardless of if they're 26 and under, or it doesn't matter. Who deserves to be here going forward? Because I don't know. I can name a couple guys, possibly, if I really think about it, but I would like to figure out that question. I would like to answer that question for the next, handful of games that we have this season. Am I going to say, say, for example, we win 2 more games, that's going to propel us to a bounce-back year next year? No. Because then we need to, as an organization, bounce back and actually make some smart moves for once. But I don't wake up on Sundays to lose. I don't. If a couple more wins, get some quarterback confidence back in this building, or some coaching confidence in this building, or just some confidence back in this fan base, I'll take it. I'm not even like, oh, well, I'd like to get into the playoffs and win a playoff game. Yeah, of course I would, but I'm not even going there yet. And the funny thing is, hey, if we win 2 more games, that might be good enough to win the damn division. Like, that's the crazy thing. Now, does that mean as much to me as it did in the past? No. Because who would we be if we bragged about being a 5-win football team that got into the playoffs and then got smoked by 40 points in the first round? But I think Marquise said it earlier. He'd rather see more playoff experience for Carson instead of the alternative. And I completely agree. So I understand people are saying, oh, well, it's best for the organization. I can't call that until I know what this organization looks like and who's actually in the damn building in May. And right now, the people who are projected to be here in May, I don't trust at all. So I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah, haven't trusted either. We can throw that on top. It's not just don't trust now because we're playing Monday morning quarterback and things haven't panned out. No. Never have trusted Howie Roseman on draft day, and it's coming back to bite him in the ass because we're going to talk about the lack of talent on this roster when we try to name the guys 26 and under that we're going to keep. But I mean, anybody that's like, I don't know, man. Like, I just there's good guys all throughout every draft, right? So if you're thinking, oh, way I can get better is by losing, because what culture does that create for your young players on the team? A losing mentality, a losing culture, no matter what the next coach that comes in. Man, if I got a chance to get in something, regardless if I think I'm good, bad, indifferent, I'm always trying to get into that. And if that's getting into the playoffs and I have an opportunity to get in there, listen, I'll take my chances and get blown out. Fine, who cares? I don't care. You know what I mean? But I don't think this football team's any good. But I'm just saying I want to see them play better. Because if not, man, this cupboard's a lot better than we thought it was coming into this year. We already knew that we had some aging guys. All right? But we didn't think it was this bad. We didn't think Miles Sanders would drop this many balls out of the backfield, fumble as many times as he's done. We're talking about the younger players. Dallas Goedert not on the field again throughout a period of a course of a season. All right? I'm not, Jalen Reagor, ups and downs. Doesn't look like a guy on a bubble screen that's going to make a bunch of guys miss. So there's just a lot of question marks with your young pieces. That doesn't mean I'm out on any of them. That means that this sample size the rest of this season matters. Matters for us, guys. It matters to find out what we have. Like, even when we were like, no, we're going to be 3-13. Like, you're still not waking up on Sundays like, you know what I mean? Like doing fight songs with losses in it. You know what I mean? On the road to losing, you know what I mean? It's like on the road to victory. You know what I mean? And that's part of the song. It's not on the road to lose. Like, you know what I mean? No matter how bad you stink. Even in the 90s when we stunk, guys, like, a little bit before some of your guys' times, but like the early 90s, not like, you know what I mean? Not that you guys don't remember, but like when we just had really good defenses and we were never good, like we still woke up hoping we were going to win games. I know I did as a fan. And even before Donovan got here, like that late 90s when we stunk, you're still like, man, yeah, it's the Cowboys. Let's go get them. Let's go get them. Boom. We got beat by 30. You know what I mean? But still woke up with the hope and you know what I mean? And all that. So what do you guys say to the poll? The Eagles fans should hope the team doesn't win another game this season. Do you agree or disagree? Jake, you can fire it off next first and then Bri.
Yeah, with me, I'm going to agree with what all the rest of you guys said. I'm going to disagree with the poll. You never go into a Sunday rooting for a team to lose, right? You never root for your team especially to lose. I mean, obviously, again, it might look nice. You have a high draft pick, but again, who's drafting them? Who's drafting the Micah Parsons, Jamar Chases? And like Ryan said, you can't guarantee that that's who Howie's going to take. We all thought that the consensus pick at, 21 when we were picking this year, it was Justin Jefferson, and we saw how that turned out. Yeah. But it's just that, like, I understand it because obviously you want people fired and you want to blow this whole thing up. I think regardless whether they win or lose or whatever have you, people are going to get fired and people are going to get let go. Because I think at least from how the reports are indicating it, Jeffrey Lurie is pissed. He's not happy, nor should he be, with how the product on the field is looking right now. And I think we're going to be in a bit of a hole for a while, at least in my opinion. Because if you really want to blow this thing up, then we're going to be bad for a while. I hope that's not the case. I hope we can do similar to what the Sixers did this offseason, to where they just completely blew it up, redid their front office and redid their coaching staff. But again, I'm not against keeping Doug for another year. I'm fine with keeping Doug for another year. But
can I just add this one thing in there, Jake? Because I've said the same thing numerous times with the Sixers thing. Like, hopefully we can, do exactly what the Sixers did and retool the organization and then come back and have a chance. But you don't want advantage, at least right now. I mean, hell, by the end of the season, again, this goes back to wanting the team to win some games to gain confidence. But right now, you know what the Sixers have that the Eagles might not have?
They have pieces.
A core that we can trust in, we can build around. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Eagles don't have that in Embiid and Simmons. And I'm not saying that those are perfect candidates for, I'm not saying they're best players in the world, but they're pretty damn good. They're good building blocks. You know what I'm saying? To where I don't know who the Eagles building blocks are. So I hear you though. I completely agree.
I mean, but this time last year we would have had a lot more hope on them building blocks, right? Like before we came into the season, we assumed, just like we're coming in the Sixers assuming, hopefully we don't get burned there. But, we assumed coming in August. I mean, you would ask me in August, I would have told you Carson, Miles, Dallas. We could have did this for hours. We could have did blow fest for hours. So, it's you assume that. That's why that's why I think we're speaking to the people who disagree, saying, well, we disagree because we want to see Carson play better. I want to see A, B, C, D, E, F, G play better. You know what I mean? So that, that's why I think some of us are probably going to disagree compared to others. Because that's the only leg you have to stand on to disagree, honestly.
Yeah. Mr. Daly?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much why I disagree with the bowl too. I want to see this team play better, like the rest of you guys. The thing about the draft is, and everybody wants a higher draft pick, if Howie's still going to be our GM and we have a top 5 pick, it's not really going to matter because he's probably going to screw it up anyway. Like he screwed up most of the other draft picks in the past. So, ideally, if you have a guy who can really evaluate talent really well, it's not going to matter where you pick in the draft. You're going to get the talent. And that's something that the Eagles are missing right now, is a guy who can evaluate the talent. And Howie clearly isn't that guy. It's tough for me because I want to see Howie gone, and I think the only way that happens is if the Eagles lose out, but that's not my mentality, and that's not, like Tom said, that's not the mentality you want to have in the locker room. You don't want to wake up on Sunday hoping for a loss. You don't want to go into the locker room being a player hoping, you're just going to lose another game. No, it's not the mentality you want to have. That's a toxic mentality, and it's going to only step back the franchise even further should the rebuild happen next year, the year after that. So, I mean, you want to start gaining that confidence with Carson, with Miles, with Dallas, with whoever, the defense, and you want to build off it and try and build something for next year. I'm all for Doug being back next year. Get him a real offensive coordinator, and I think this team is going to be okay. I don't think the rebuild will necessarily be as long as the Sixers.
Can I poll the room and the fam at home? Because again, I'm not saying I want this, but I think there's a better chance of this happening, even if we do, for a fact, lose out, or maybe we only pick up 1 or 2 more wins. Would you guys, and let us know in the comments as well, would you guys be okay and satisfied if it was more of a tweaking this offseason, or where Doug's not fired, but he brings in an offensive coordinator? Maybe they get rid of the quarterback's coach and they bring in another one. Howie isn't fired, but he's reassigned and he's alleviated of some of his duties or all of his duties on draft day, where it's nobody's getting fired, but it's a tweaking. You know what I mean? Would you guys be satisfied with that?
No, not in the front office. No. Okay. On the field, sure. In the front office, absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, you can't. Like I told you, it was fine when you did well in free agency. It was fine when you did well with the cap. all that goes away when you're $52 million up against the cap. I don't care if you win a division or not. See, I don't think Howie Roseman's job's on the line, period. That's the problem. So I don't think winning or losing is going to dictate any of that, right? I just don't think it is. So I don't know what's going to force him out the door. So until I know for sure, I'm not going to lose out because I'm expecting Howie to be gone. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that what Ryan just said is more of the idea Jeffrey Lurie is probably going to have, because I don't think he wants to start over with everything. I think he's mad, but I think he wants to start over. But I mean, I know a lot of people out there, are hell no to that. Some are good. Some are good with it. Listen, I don't know. You can tweak all you want on the coaching staff, right? You can tweak it all you want until you do a better job of going out and putting a better roster together. I don't know what else is to be done until your offensive line can protect somebody, until you can create turnovers on defense. Like, I don't know. I don't know what changes that. Does a whole new coaching staff all of a sudden take the ball away? Maybe it does. You know what I mean? But I don't know who. Like, there's so many reports out there. I don't know what's to believe anymore with this whole organization. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. It's too much. Just every day there's something new coming out. Like, oh, guess what Jeffrey said. Like, man, this seems this transparent. Like, when did they become the definition of transparency recently? Like, they're just going to tell us everything? Like, that just seems weird to me. It seems really odd to me. Sean Spielman, Deuce Staley, offense coordinator, asking a serious question because I know how Eagles fans stink. No. I mean, I'm not against it. I really don't care, but that's like another inside voice that who knows that changes. Like, right now, Doug came out and said, like, yo, just throwing this out again. If anybody wants to hear this, that I've given Press Taylor play calling responsibilities through games. Who's it? Rich Scangarello.
Scangarello.
Yeah. I don't even know who the frig he is, but he's called plays throughout games. I believe all this too. Like, I believe all that.
Am I wrong for saying this, but it makes me feel worse knowing that now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It should make you feel like, you know what? Like, we all knew that you're going to have all these different, none of these guys were any good anyway. Like, we just knew, like, who are these guys' backgrounds to be good? Not that they, like, what's their track record? These are all guys here last year when we couldn't score points either. So, I mean, these are the same guys. So nothing's really changed. All Jeffrey Lurie did was say Mike Rowe and whoever else had to go, and nothing else came in besides Marty Morningway, which is the definition of throwing the football. Like, I mean, you want a guy that's going to be throw heavy, bring Marty in. I mean, how do I know Marty's not going? How do I know Marty isn't in Carson's head to throw the ball 50 times a freaking game too?
Sure he is. I'm sure he is.
And changing a million audibles and putting yourself in the throwing downs. I don't know. I mean, throwing situations. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to believe. All I know is this organization's done a lot of talking, or a lot of stuff's came out throughout the last couple of weeks that make it concerned on the direction. Cody says, how do we as an organization let a nerd like Howie tell a Super Bowl winning coach who is he going to dress and play? I don't know. That's
a great question.
I think it tells you, if your owner and GM have a little bit too much pull. And I don't say that because your owner always has pull, right? It's the owner. But when you start being an owner like this, like I think Jeffrey is, and I know what Howie likes to do, you start getting your hands too dirty with what goes on game day. You hurt your football team. You really do. Paul says we need football men in the front office. Yeah. And I know people say, oh, just send Howie down the hallway. No. It's not go down the hallway this time. It's time to leave.
Let's go out the door this time, not down the hallway. Go out the friggin' door.
All right, leave your car, leave your little scanner here, everything that gets you into the building. Leave your key card. Trig says it just shows you Frank Reich was the one that was getting the best out of Wentz, not Peterson. I don't know. I mean,
I think it was a mixture of both. I don't necessarily think it was really one or the other. I think together they really put together a really good game plan for Carson, and I think Frank, he just knows how to utilize his talent. I don't necessarily. Obviously, Press Taylor doesn't.
The roster was so much better though.
That
roster had all your offensive linemen healthy. That roster had, besides Jason Peters, your whole line was healthy. Okay, that's the only one who went down that year. Okay, so your whole O line was healthy, right? You had a legit number one wide receiver before his injury.
Mhm.
You had a legit running game. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's the smartest guy in the room. I think he's very smart. I love Frank, but I don't know if he's like had everything to do with everything, right? Makes sense. Like, I'm not saying he didn't have a part in it. Like, it takes all these guys to have a part to win a championship. That's how championships happen. It's not a one-man show. And so he had a part in it, but I just don't like. I think if you swap places with teams, right? I think both are getting the same out of their football teams as they are right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's about Frank Reich. I think it's more about the people that they brought in after Frank Reich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's that Frank Reich was this so-called genius. I just think the guys that they brought in just flat out sucked, to be honest.
I mean, to your point, Brodo, Mike Grove flat out said after not being able to play Golden Tate after they got him, I don't know how to utilize this guy.
Nope. A guy who
How
can
you know
literally do
offensive
everything.
coordinator?
A guy who literally could do everything. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
How are you offensive coordinator in the NFL? You don't know how to utilize a player into your playbook.
Well, think about this, Bri, too. Like, then is it the disconnect from your system to who's going out shopping for the groceries, right? We talk about this all the time. And people always tell me, like, oh, these system guys, they got to fit systems. Well, if your GM just thinks he can pluck and play anybody, and you know what I mean, into the system on offense and defense, how much does that affect Jim Schwartz and Doug Peterson too? You know what I mean? If your GM's is like, oh, I don't care. Like this is no talent guy. You guys got to figure it out. Even if it's not the guy these guys want per se. You know what I mean? And free agency drafts, trades. I would assume, like we all thought after they won a Super Bowl, that they all sat at the table together, right? like I literally thought that they all sat at the damn table together. I don't know when this happened where I feel like they have no talks anymore. Like nobody's having tea anymore in Crimpets together anymore. Nobody eats lunch together. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a cafeteria full of all cliques, right? Now you got their one on one side, your one on the other on the other, and nobody talks to each other because everybody thinks they're the reason why we won a Super Bowl. Like this Super Bowl almost hurt this team, these coaches, and this general manager, and this owner. I mean, come on. I mean, this team went on a book tour after 2017. I mean, we talked about it that year. I mean, it was book tour city.
Mm-hmm.
Fearless.
No, Vincent, the mastermind of Super Bowl team was Chip Kelly and Andy Reid. I mean, guys, think about it. Who are your biggest contributors? Who drafted them guys?
Mm-hmm.
Who drafted Fletcher Cox? Who drafted Lane Johnson? Who brought in Jason Peters? You know, I'm just like making a point. Like, I mean, who drafted Brandon Graham?
Mm-hmm.
That was Andy Reid. Andy Reid drafted two of your best defensive players. And Chip Kelly's the one who went out and got Malcolm Jenkins.
And Zach Ertz.
And Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? And Lane Johnson. I mean, your biggest contributors in your Super Bowl, outside of your free agent signings, which was a great job by Howie, phenomenal job, free agent signings with LeGarrette Blount, trading for Jay Ajayi, right? I mean, like little moves that were big moves. Okay, well, I give him credit. Torrey Smith, it's a good signing that year. Trading for Alshon Jeffrey at the time, great trade. Like these are great trades. You can't run from it because none of them happen. That year doesn't happen without these pieces.
Well, the names you mentioned with in regards to Andy Reid and Chip Kelly, they were your leadership group.
Mm-hmm.
If you go down the line, Fletcher, Brandon Graham, Kendricks, Zach Ertz, JP, that's your culture right there. Howie didn't bring those guys in. And like you said, Tom, it's not like we're taking all credit away from Howie because he made good moves like what you said and like Chris Long and LeGarrette Blount. Like he was okay then. Nobody takes anything away that year. But like we always say with Carson, when people say, oh, well, you can't bring up 2017. Well, then the same goes for Howie Roseman. It's the same thing. You don't get past this 3 years, 4 years later for doing a job in 2017. But I just think it's ironic that if you really look at who brought in that culture, it's the two guys before Howie Roseman was here, or at least making the big time moves.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Joe, this is a little bit wrong. This is where we get caught up in some of the wrong positions on what make teams successful, right? Why are the Colts successful right now? Because their offensive line is really good.
And their defense is great.
And their defense is good. Like, I mean, you're talking to me about who would I rather have. Like, of course, I'd rather have Carson Wentz. Like, okay, I don't know if I'd rather have Taylor Sanders and Scott right now. I don't know that right now. You kidding me? You kidding me right now?
Naheem Hines is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. He can do everything that we would love to do.
They don't have a slight edge in offensive line. Come on, a slight edge. You want to tell me on paper in August they got a slight edge? Sure. You can't tell me straight face right now they got a straight edge when a slight edge when we started 14 different pairings. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Slight edge? Come on, guys. This isn't just a skill position league. God damn it. There's a reason Andy Reid was successful year in, year out here. Because he built his teams through the trenches. All the guys who get all caught up in the dog and pony show, all right, are the Raiders of the past. All right, let me draft the guy because he runs a 4-2. And never focus on the important parts or win your football games. Look around the league. Okay? Right? Why are the Cleveland Browns good this year? Because they address their offensive line. Like, you look around. The offensive line's so important to you being successful. Love you, Joe, but you're wrong. You're wrong. With all due respect to you. You know I love you, but you're 100% wrong. Like, yeah, okay, I would rather have Wentz and Rivers. That's it. That's all you got me with. I don't know about Dallas Goedert that he's so much better than Trey Burton. Like, is he so much better than Trey Burton?
Burton can throw passes. We know that from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, I mean, should be. You know, should be. Tristan says, I'm extremely disappointed in Miles Sanders. I thought he was going to be a beast.
So did he.
Didn't we all? So did he. Yep. What he told us.
Could have turned Miles Sanders into DeAndre Hopkins, but another conversation.
But people didn't want to do that.
No. How could you trade an asset like Miles Sanders for DeAndre Hopkins?
You guys are hating on Miles Sanders. No. We just know DeAndre Hopkins is really good.
Ridiculous.
Michael Collins says teams are built in rounds 4 through 7, and Howie is terrible in those rounds. Well, he's terrible in rounds 1 through 7.
Yeah.
Dank says slight edge. Really? Slight edge. Like I'll be first to tell you. Like I thought this roster was better, but once like Brandon Brooks went out, and once we weren't sure what the hell was going to happen at left tackle, deep down I got extremely nervous because I'm like, I don't know. Like Brandon Brooks, I thought we'd get away with. But once like left tackle was out, right, Lane was missing games. Team's not good enough for
it was the perfect. If you kind of look at it, it was the perfect storm to where Lane kind of resorted health wise to what he's been the last 2.5 years, to where he plays well for a game. And like I said, it's not his fault; it's the injury, and I don't fault him. I commend him for trying to play through the injury, but that's hurt him the last couple of years. Even you have like the guy who nobody really talks about in Ciamalo. He's gone for about 6 weeks. Jason Kelce, he's healthy, but he's had some really poor games. He's been okay, but he's had some games where it's like, okay, what the hell are you doing? Peters, when he does play, he sucks. Dillard got hurt, even though we weren't confident in him. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously Brooks being gone since the summer. It was really just the perfect storm with it all.
I would trade Miles Sanders for a Pro Bowl guard yesterday. Okay, that's how much I value.
You can find 100 running backs in the league that can, or you could just go back to what we did in 2017, and you could just have very good running backs in a committee. Like you don't need to have that star anymore. You can have guys that's a power runner, an elusive guy, and a pass catcher, and you're good. Like that. It's not like I'm not saying I don't want like a Derrick Henry or a Dalvin Cook. Like yeah, if I have a superstar type running back, I'm cool. But it's not one of those positions where you need a DeAndre Hopkins to succeed. We know that from plenty of years.
And then you're Sanders needs to get in here. Sanders needs to get the ball more. He needs to get more touches, and part of that's on Miles Sanders being hurt early on in the year. The other part of that is on Miles Sanders putting the ball on the turf on 2 opening drives throughout the year. Putting the ball on the turf, I think a total of 4 times this year. I don't know how many times you can put the ball on the turf and expect to get the ball all the time. You know what I mean? It's hard, man. It's not that like, yeah, give him a ton of touches, like, and he's been perfect. So it's like, nobody's been good enough. It goes for coaches as well. Matt says, any thoughts on why we refuse to run the ball every game? Thinking about it hurts my head anymore. I don't know, Matt, but I'll tell you one thing. Expect 30 plus rushes this Sunday.
Honestly, what I think it is just because, and you've been the most well documented with it, Tom. And I do agree with you. I didn't believe it at first, but I do really agree with you now. I think it comes down to the plays being changed to the line by Carson a lot, And I think it just comes down to he wants to carry that team. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's, something that Mortingway's saying or Scangarello's saying that, you're our guy. We have confidence in you. You're the one that's going to make the difference. Like we go all the way back to that Jaws interview. It seems like that was, a couple months ago, but I think the message still holds true. When there's a bunch of different people giving you different pieces of advice in the same locker room, in the same organization,
Yep.
especially when that quarterback in Carson Wentz is struggling, it's not going to help anything. So I do really believe it's because of that. Miles Sanders being banged up and really being a lack of continuity. And that's no disrespect to Boston Scott, but he's a 5'8" running back who should be a third stringer, not a second or starter. So I really do think it goes back to that. It's Carson kind of going back to 2016 where he's trying to carry the organization on his back and it's just not working.
No, it's not working at all. Joseph says, Eric Bieniemy. I love Eric Bieniemy, but then you're trying to get Eric Bieniemy and you're up against like 10 other teams that are in the market for a head coach. So, I mean, it's a tough year to can. I'll tell you that. Not saying that I won it. Let's see how the rest of this shapes out. But I mean, I don't think it's the smartest move this year to do that. I think Doug Peterson, just by what he's accomplished here, gets one more year. And if you're in the same conversation next year and you don't see growth and you're having the same issues, then guess what you do? Then you move on from him. Paul, then I get it. Come on. How do you?
That's just not true. We know for a fact he does that. Like it's
every quarterback at this point of their career is doing that in the league. So now he's not smart enough. I don't know. Come on. You know what I mean? Come on. I can't. Now we're going to get in guys' heads and we're going to say, guy's not smart enough. This guy's an idiot. That's why he can't play. I think he works too hard to be an idiot. I think there's a lot of factors in here, and part of it's on him too. No, Justin, I wouldn't consider any college coaches for the job just because we've seen how that usually works out this league. But I will tell you, it depends. Like if that college guy has NFL coaching experience already, but he went back to college to be a head coach for whatever reason, I'm a little more for that. Makes sense? Like I'd be okay with that as long as they have not head coaching experience. If they just been on NFL staffs before. There's a lot of them guys. Like
I thought you were describing a certain person from Michigan for a second.
That's kind of where I thought he was going. Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good on him. I'm totally good on that one. But no, I mean, unless you're talking about that kind of college guy.
Would you? Because I agree with you. The only guy I would think about is a Lincoln Riley, just because it seems like every quarterback in his system automatically, everything somehow looks better there. You know what I'm saying? Like he could make Ralph look like a Pro Bowler. I feel like, you know what I mean? So that's the guy I would take a shot at. But you're right. Going back to the college, it's just too many unknowns because you just don't know if it translates. There's plenty of coordinators. There's plenty of quarterback coaches in this league. And even if you wanted to go defensive heavy, even though I know the league's going away from that, but there's too many guys with experience that I would take. And no, Colin, I'm not touching Jim Harbaugh. I'm not doing that.
We'll bring in Lincoln Riley to coach up Hurts.
Oh.
Yep. Let's connect the dots there.
Yeah, I can see the dotted line. We can see it.
Matt Rule's done a hell of a job. Remember, Yusuf, he was on NFL staffs before. You know what I mean? He was on NFL staffs. He's a former NFL coordinator of some sort.
I think he was on the Giants, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Exactly what it was. He was on staffs before. I like them guys that were on staffs at least before because they have some NFL experience. It just depends on the guy. Lincoln Riley was a good name because he's younger, can relate to younger players. Sure. I'm not at the head coaching search yet. Like I said, I got to give Doug a little bit more time. If you want to talk to me about GM searches, I'm all for it. But Doug, not more time in terms of years, one more year, to see if they can figure it out before I get into, hey, which direction am I looking coach wise? So let's get into a little bit of our fun with this topic. And obviously, guys, if you're looking to get in on the call in part of the show here in about, I'd say 20, 25 minutes, we'll start firing that up. Jump on in, slide into our DMs, drop your email, And you don't even need to drop your email. You just slide in your GM's DMs that you want to hop on, and we send you the link right in there. So
and just comment in, fam, and whichever comment section you're in, just tell us you messaged us. That way we
know. Yeah. Hop in, tell us your messages. Hop on with us tonight. Like I said, we'll put you on a couple minutes. You don't have to come on camera wise. You can come on like this too. Whatever you guys want to do. I mean, that's up to you. So have fun with it. Come in with us, Fan Friday. We open up to whatever you want to talk about, even if it's not on our docket. So unlike last week, we're going to try to keep it to like 5 minutes a person, depending on how many people we have fired up. Vincent Russo, Louis Riddick. Yep.
That's who I'm for.
I'll take it.
I just want somebody who's going to hold all these players accountable. I don't care what OC, GM, head coach, don't care. We need accountability in that locker room.
I just want what you said, Brian. I just want I just forget, like, accountability is fun too. Like, I'm all in for accountability too. I'm just going to piggyback off accountability and say, how about just somebody who knows the draft? Like I've said it a million times, I feel like a nausea, but like Mike Mack's doing a hell of a job at the Raiders because he's a guy who studied the draft. We would assume Howie Roseman studied the draft, but I don't know. But I mean, the way Louis Riddick crushed him the other night, it was almost like he was auditioning for his job. Didn't it feel like that? Like it felt like he was like, "Hey, Jeffrey, if you're listening."
Well, what's funny is I didn't realize that he had already been a part of the Eagles front office before while Howie was here. And I didn't realize they had a little bit of bad blood between each other, which after I found that out, kind of made it a little bit more comical for me. I don't know about you guys. Taking cheap shots at his old boss.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And that's what we're in it for. Take some cheap shots at your boss. You know, I mean, your former boss. Guy fired you, and then you're going to let him know, like, look what you guys got going on here.
Fired the wrong guy.
Where are we at? Sorry. Who's saying he's not seen the field and is overstriding? Talking about Wentz? Probably. I mean, probably. When you're not comfortable, you're doing a lot of things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, he's not comfortable in the pocket at all. So, top Eagles players under 26. All right, if you're doing an expansion draft and you can only keep 3 to 5 of them. All right, if you come up with 5 that are worth keeping, go right ahead. So you get 3 to 5 guys under the age of 26. So are we counting 26 or 26 or younger?
Well, there's only one guy I think that would be in this conversation that's 26, so we can count 26. 26 and under.
Deshaun, when was he director of scouting for the Eagles? A lot of these guys that had a part in the Super Bowl run were part of the guys that were drafted when he was the director of scouting for the Eagles. Same. Fletcher Cox is a Louis Riddick guy. There's other guys that are Louis for Brandon Graham, and that's why, you know, if you heard him singing his praises the other night, that's a Louis Riddick pick. And is when he was a scouting department. Now, were we perfect? Were we lights out in the draft? No. We were pretty good. Pretty good. I think Jeremy Macklin was a Louis Riddick pick. I would say Deshaun was probably a Louis Riddick pick. He was all through that tenure there when he was part of this. I got to look at his exact years, but he was in that scouting department for a good amount of time, just not as the director of scouting. So I would have to like really look at exactly his years, but he was part of a lot of it. Wawa says Doug needs to go. All right. I mean, you know, a lazy response to me would be me saying for who. So I'm not going to say that, and I'm not going to disagree with you that it doesn't look good on his end right now. But I just think we should give him one more. That's all. Kid Savage is not good. Mike is not good in coverage. He hasn't been proven in coverage yet. Yeah. All right. You know, I mean, yeah, we're going to get into all that. That time will come when we break down, you know, who we think we're going to be picking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't even break down these college guys yet because I don't even know where we're going to be at to even get there.
So Jake, you want to lead us off with your list?
Are we doing top 3 or top 5?
Whatever you want to do, Jake, but Joker. Who have we picked that if you guys were home, and let me be honest with you, who have we picked that you guys at home did this to? All right, I'm asking. I'm asking for a friend. Okay, I'm truly asking for the people out there. Who have we picked that got you that excited? Who have we picked that made you go 6 to midnight? Okay, in the last 3 years. Because I'm going to tell you something. Nobody. Right? Nobody has got me excited over the last 3 years. They haven't drafted one guy that I've actually wanted in the first 3 rounds. So I think that goes for a lot of us out here, right?
Yep.
So who? Everybody wants to playing the dog. Hey, got player develop better. Okay. So some guys just come in and they can't play because you reach so much on guys. All right.
There has not been one pick, from my knowledge at least, just in the first 3 rounds where I've said, that's my guy. I wanted him. I talked about him. Not one.
No.
No.
Nope.
Greek Warrior. Packers are going to trash us. Rodgers is going to show Wentz what a real 100. Yeah, I mean, a lot of capitals there. A lot of cap locks in that one. Greek Warrior. All right. I mean, what's trash? How many points you giving me? Huh. Told you I'll take double digits in this game. I'll take double digits. I think it's going to be a closer one than we think it is. I don't know, Molly Mall. Molly Mall says, what happened to the Philly track team from last year? Still running circles, obviously.
Yeah.
Still running straight somewhere. Just
That
not in
factory
the
got shut down.
Yep, the Speed Factory, and all the factories. Factory got shut down. Pop, what up, Pop? Says, because if we let him go, someone will pick him up. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Exactly, Pop.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Listen, there's I don't know how many. There's going to be 8, 10 teams that are probably looking for a new head coach this year.
Yep.
I guarantee if Doug Peterson is fired, he is the first coach hired. Who wants to bet me? Who? That doesn't mean he's a great coach. I got to give him more time to find that out, right? All right, to find out. But I think he's a really good leader of men, and Mike Tomlin went through his ups and downs. I never had a losing season in Pittsburgh, but at that season he didn't make the playoffs. So they stuck with him. They stuck with him because they believe in him as a leader of men, right? And you talk about when you're constantly circling through as an organization, it's not good. We just hired Doug. If you think about it, this is his 5th year as a coach, right? This is year 5, right?
Yes, this is 5.
It's year 5. It's year 5. So 3 out of 5 years looks like to be a playoff team and 1 Super Bowl trophy. Do we want to run that out that quick and not give them one more just to see if this was a fluke or if this was, you really were trending down? I don't know. I don't know if I had that. What's the right answer or wrong answer either, guys?
Just give him a freaking coordinator who has experience and get the idiot GM out of the building. I'll take my chance for another year. That's the answer.
Jim Caldwell still available? I'll take it, Jim.
Don't even let me. Don't start me again. I'll friggin' that was my guy. It was him and Kafka I was rooting for. I'll still take Kafka in the building. Don't get me started with that again, Daly.
I might have to.
I get loud this time of year when it comes to those two. Don't get me started.
What's the show without getting you started?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Todd, I just messaged you, by the way, Todd. I just gave you the link, Todd.
Jake, whenever you're ready, you can go, brother.
Yeah, so and mind you, the list isn't great because again we can't draft. So I'm gonna give my top 5. Top 5 players 26 and under for me. Number 1, Miles Sanders. Number 2, Dallas Goedert. Number 3, Derek Barnett. Number 4, Alex Singleton, and number 5, Jordan Mailata.
Mr. Daly, I made a 10. I made a top 10, so I'll go last. Just because I want to show you how bad it is.
Fucking riveting.
I can't even come up with 5 that I want to keep.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you 3, and it's similar to Jake's. It's Miles Sanders, number 1. Number 2, Dallas Goedert, and number 3. I think I'm going out on a limb a little bit, but I'll keep Josh Sweat just to see if he can take that next step.
Not out on a limb, dude. This roster
I don't hate it.
he's not having a terrible year. He's not having a great year, but
I don't hate it.
I think he took a step forward,
No, for sure.
and I want to see if he can take that next step next year.
For sure. I mean, shit, something had a pulse out there for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Something when you hit it with the stick, you're like, oh, it is alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a dead animal. It is alive. Okay, cool. Good to have you. I'll
Glad
do
somebody's
mine quick
awake.
because this doesn't take a lot of thought. Like this does not take a lot of thought. You know? I hope nobody spent a lot of time prepping these lists. Miles is one for right now until proven otherwise, right? Like, you know, not because I'm like don't think he has issues. I just think he's your best playmaker at this age. So I'll take him. Derek Barnett's going to be 2 to me. And I'll tell you why Derek Barnett's 2. He's had way more success than Dallas Goedert in this league. So until Dallas Goedert has a big play in a Super Bowl or a big play in a playoff game or is on the field enough, right, etc., I'm not going to put him 2 yet. Make sense? I'm going to put Derek 2 because of what Derek has been able to do and has the most sacks of his career now, right, in what year he is now. So getting better as a player. So you got to look at a guy getting better. I can make a case that Derek Barnett's 1 right now because of the year Miles Sanders is having. Yeah, I really could. I'm just not going to get into the argument with people because I don't feel like that tonight. You guys can call in, but I'm telling you, you know what? Screw it. Barnett's 1, Miles Sanders is 2. Let the running back junkies come all after me tonight, okay? Because I'll blow you all up if you think that Miles Sanders has had a better career than Derek Barnett up till now. All right? Or you want to talk about inconsistency with Derek Barnett at times? Hey, glass house Miles. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can put anybody 1 to me. It doesn't matter. You got the argument for anybody because that's how bad it is. So I'll go Derek 1, Miles 2. Either way, the top 3 are my guys I don't want you to pluck from me, right? And Goddard would be that other guy that I don't. You know what? No, take him. I'll keep 5. No, I'll keep 5. I'll keep 5 because there's some kids you can't give up on yet. So I'll keep Dallas. I'll keep. How old's Isaac?
Oh, 27, I want to say. 1 second.
He's right over it, right? I thought Isaac was like 26.
Isaac Siamalo.
27.
27.
All right. Give me Jalen on that list, Rager.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I have to. Did I just use the fucking 21st pick of the draft for him? I'm just letting him out the door this year. I'm not keeping him for next year. Jesus. I mean, you're reeling me like we got a lot to choose from. I mean, I just picked the guy 21st in the draft.
I'm not. I'm just
Andre
surprised.
You want to get people upset? Let's get people upset then. The 5th guy should be Andre Dillard then. If we're really going to be technical, I just used the 1st round pick on him or 2 years ago. Or you make it Jalen Hurts. It's one of the two. It's between Dillard and Hurts because one of the two got to be kept. You don't have a choice in the matter. You know what I mean? Because you just use picks on him. Dillard being a left tackle is hard to not keep, and Jalen Hurts being used in the 2nd round is hard to not keep. If you're talking about you don't want a team taking them for an expansion draft next year, hypothetically, right? They're 2 hard names not to want to keep, right, guys? Yeah. I mean, I'm not high on either one of them. You guys realize this, right? So by me saying this, I'm like Ryan really was like, trust me, don't think I'm changing stripes on these guys. I'm just saying that. Like, what else are you keeping? Josh Sweat? I didn't use that kind of asset, that pick on Josh Sweat. You know what I mean? If you think about it, right? I didn't use over just this year alone. I mean, this is my 1st and 2nd round pick this year. I got to at least keep next year to see one if my 1st round wide receiver got any better, right? So, I mean, that's how I look at it. I think all them 5 guys are keepable. So Barnett, Miles, Goddard, Rager, and Hurts.
I mean, if I got to pick between Rager and Hurts, I think I would keep Rager too. So
I'm keeping both on my 5. I'm leaving guys off the list. I mean, people tell me Jordan Mailata, he can take a walk. He was a turnstile last weekend. Okay, so he can take a walk. This has been a couple games. Everyone tell me how good he's playing. Okay. So I'd rather keep Andre Dillard. Like I'd rather keep 6 then. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather go and say, I'm going to keep 6 because I'm going to keep Dillard at left tackle. I used a first-round pick on him too. That I just haven't seen him play enough yet, right? So maybe I keep 6 guys. The more I think about it, because I want to keep an offensive lineman, especially one I use that high of a pick on. It's tough, man. It's tough because it's bleak. But you're also trying to think for the future, right? Because you don't want to let all these things out the door playing this game that we're playing. So maybe I will keep 6 guys. Lucky 6. That sums up our picks.
Yeah, Tom, for me, if people are going to come after you for putting Barnett over Miles, then they're definitely going to come after me because I also have Barnett 1. I think there's a big argument for it because, like we said, sample size. We know Barnett's been a legitimate starter and he's had huge plays when this team needed it. So to me, and I understand the injuries, but you can't really argue injuries for Miles Sanders. You know what I'm saying? I have Dallas Goedert too, so I have Barnett 2 spots over Miles just because, again, I think it's harder to find. And I'm not saying Dallas Goedert's this, but I think he has potential.
Find a good tight end.
Yeah, it's harder to find a tight end that could play than a running back. That's just
real quick, Mark, before I go take a piss, all right, because I want to get back for the fans calling in. I see Todd down below, so we'll get Todd. Todd will be our first guy up. Murr says, does Pro Football Focus hold no water for you, Tommy? Milano was number 5 last week. Let the kid play. I'm not telling you not to let the kid play. I'm telling you that I'd rather take a chance with Andre Dillard being better, hopefully. God, I use the guy. I picked him in the first round, Murph. I got more upside. If I got more upside for Jordan Milano than Andre Dillard, that's even more of an indictment to fire everybody. Shit. Go on with your list. Murph, I love you. I hope you're feeling better, my brother. But it's like, no, but they go back. Pro Football Focus doesn't hold water to me. No, absolutely not. I care less about their rankings. Unless it caters to our argument here in Philadelphia. Then we're like, oh, look at Pro Football Focus. Pro Football Focus. Look where they got Carson, guys. Look where they got him.
Paul, that's not true. Barnett has had 1 good game Monday night. How about we look at his entire career? And that's not even true for this year.
Yeah, Barnett's
it's not even close. It's not even close. So I've got Barnett 1, Goddard 2, Miles Sanders 3. I've got Singleton 4. I've got Mailata 5. And like I said, I did 10. I'm not keeping 10. I'm probably only keeping 3. I've got Josh Sweat 6, Jalen Hurts 7, Jalen Reagor 8, Austin Scott 9, and Andre Dillard 10. And the only reason why I have Andre Dillard even on this list is because of what Tom said, and that's the first round pick.
Yep.
And I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, well, Ryan, they spent a second round pick on Arcega-Whiteside. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Right.
I don't know who that is anymore.
Last time I checked.
And I know there's going to be people, oh, where's Fulgham?
Who?
Didn't use any draft cap. Well, for the past 3 weeks, who?
Yeah.
And we didn't use any draft capital on him. And who said we should have put Mills? Because what? Who said Mills?
No.
Somebody said Mills.
Yeah, they're like, you guys are sleeping on Mills. No, I know, no. Gabriel, no.
It's not Jalen Mills, right?
No, Jalen Mills. Yeah.
He stinks.
No. I thought he might be a worse safety than he is a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even think it was that good of a corner. And I get it. Hey, he was a starting cornerback in the Super Bowl. Remember what that score was in that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot to a little less.
Yeah. And if I'm going the safety route, I'm not even going with Mills. I'm going with a guy who's played like 15 seconds so far, and that's Kevon Wallace. And I'm not even going there because he hasn't even looked that good.
Yeah.
But at least I know he can play at Clemson. You know what I mean?
All right, I think I just figured out the rest of my top 5.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Derek Barnett, Kayvon Wallace. Why not?
Hey. Prism, yeah. The only reason why I have Hurts over Reagor, because given the quarterback situation, it doesn't mean I have to like him, but that's it's if they believe that he could be a quarterback, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like a quarterback's more valuable than a wide receiver to me. And Reagor can't even finish a friggin' route.
Yeah.
Like what is? I'm not putting him in the Arcega-Whiteside category yet because I have to wait until year 2 by default. But I mean, come on, Jefferson, really? No, you're passing on Jefferson. No, there's no Jefferson because of the little guy can't finish routes and can't jump. Okay.
I feel like Rager can at least catch the ball. J-Jaw, I'm still waiting to see if he can.
Can't even get on the field anymore, Daly.
No.
Kind of my point, you know.
He's been wearing a T-shirt the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
He's become the Nate Sudfeld of wide receivers, even though Nate Sudfeld, I think, could still probably run a route and catch passes.
Yeah.
No disrespect, though. I'm sure Arcega-Whiteside's a great guy in the locker room since he's not on the field. Anyway. Yes, I'm bitter. Yeah, I'm very bitter. TTP says, is this a list of players to build around? Basically an expansion draft, TTP, that if you could only protect 3 to 5 guys from the newest NFL team because they're going to poach them, who are you putting on that list? Like kind of like what we do every week with the practice squad where you get the little notification on your phone that the Eagles have designated these 4 players to protect from the practice squad. Same thing, but obviously for the players that aren't on the practice squad. Matt says, no Davion Taylor or Jack Driscoll. I had Jack Driscoll in there for a little while before I remember Dillard was still on the roster. He used the first round pick on him. I like Driscoll. I do.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been bad at all.
And Davion Taylor. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
just going to move. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm surprised Greg's not in here asking, oh, no TJ Edwards? No, Greg. No. Especially because he was undrafted, so I don't even have the draft capital thing. Don, he says, y'all should do a Philly Sports 26 and under for all teams. Why? So I can cry more? So I can realize how bad every team is? Is that why? I feel like, no, you know what, Don? Every team would be every player would be from the Sixers, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's a couple from the Flyers you could do. Phillies, there's really maybe only one.
Still, until Tom gets back and we start the calls, let's do a real quick rough draft because that's a good idea. Because I'll end up we get so many freaking topics, I'll end up forgetting. So if we did like a top, we want to do a top 5 or you want to do a top 10?
Yeah, do top 5 real quick.
Okay. We all agree Hart's probably 1.
Hart.
Yep.
I mean, we got to put Ben on here.
Yeah, I was thinking I would definitely take Ben in the top 5. Where, I'm not sure, but I would definitely take him.
Thanks, Prism. Yeah, I wish Howie Roseman made logical points and decisions. Joel's still under 26, right?
I think he's 27.
I was going to say, I feel like he's been in the city for 20 years. All right, Joseph, I'll ask you, Daly, since you're our hockey guy, which other Flyers would you put in here?
No, Joel is 26.
Definitely TK, Travis Konechny for sure.
Yep.
Provorov. I got to double check his age, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's under 26.
You said Joel's under 26?
He is 26.
Oh, he is 20. Okay, so we got to so he's got to be 2. He might be 1, honestly.
It really could be a 1A, 1B between Carter Hart and Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Screw it. You know what? I'm going Carter Hart 1. I'll make sure the Flyers fans like me this at least tonight.
Provorov's 23, Daly.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was older than that, but my mind, my old mind gets away from me.
TTP is Hart better than? I mean, that's such a like a 7-layered question because I'm comparing a center to a hockey goalie. Yeah.
I don't know if you could really answer that question.
I would say
you can't really compare the two,
but I'm going to attempt it because why the hell not?
Okay.
Because it's 2020.
Why not?
And I'm going to do it because it gets me away from talking about the Eagles for an additional 30 seconds. So I'm going to try it. I will say yes, not because Joel's not important. He's extremely important. Okay. But this entire city went how long without a bona fide goalie? a lockdown goalie. We saw how important he was in the playoffs when he was literally keeping us. First off, we won that first series because of him, not the offense, and most certainly not the power play. And Daly, at any point, if you disagree, raise your hand, cut me off, and tell me I'm an idiot.
You're good so far.
Number two, he was the sole reason why we lasted 7 games in that second series. And my only reason for putting Carter Hart over Joel, aside from, like I said, because of how long we went without a goalie, the NBA, it's not as center-centric as it was. You know what I'm saying? To where you can survive in the NBA without having a lockdown center. You can't win a title or a Stanley Cup championship without a goalie. You just can't.
Yep.
At some point in the playoffs, in the NHL, you're going to need your goalie to stand on his head. That's just the way it is. So I somehow just tried to compare the two. I hope it made sense, but I'm going Carter Hart 1.
No, because that was kind of how I was going to compare it to. If you take Joel Embiid off of the Sixers roster, I still feel like that team could still compete. If you take Carter Hart out of the Flyers roster, you're back to square one with them. So, I mean, that's kind of how I see it. But, you know, I'm just like the super casual basketball guy here. Yeah, so it's like to me, it's just who's the more important guy.
And Tom said
Hart is.
And Tom believes Joel is, which I also imagine. So I when he comes back in, you know, we'll talk about that further. Mm-hmm. So finishing off our list. So, you know, Carter Hart, Joel Embiid, either order 1, 2. You're going Ben 3. Is there any Eagle that deserves to be in this top 5 over a Flyer? I don't think so.
No.
I can't with a straight face put Miles, Barnett, or Dallas here.
No, you got to put Provy. I think you got to put Provy on this list.
Yeah.
Provy 4, and then who's hitting 5?
Alec Baum. No, I'm kidding.
Hold on, are we saying Carter Hart's more important than Joel Embiid? Is that what we're making a case for? Is that what I missed?
Yes.
Yeah, not even close. And I'll tell you why. We can't put what the Flyers didn't do for 30 years or 20 years plus years on who means more to their team, right? Like we purposely like in the NBA, if you're honestly not getting star players, you're never winning. You can win. There's other goalies who've won championships that might not be the greatest goalies of all time and franchise changing goalies. Like guys get hot. It's a whole reason in hockey that the hottest goaltender usually takes their team to a cup, right? So, not saying that Carter can never do that, but it's like there's other goalies out there if you have a good enough roster, too. Like there's other goalies. Superstars win championships in the NBA. Like superstar players win championships, not just I can find Joel Embiid per se somewhere else because I don't know if I can. And that's that's just the way the NBA set up. So the only reason I would argue against it, and I love Carter Hart, and he's so important to the Flyers, but not saying I can find a goalie anywhere. But if my roster's good enough, right, and I have a good goalie, I can still get to where I want to get to.
And I will say to your point, Tom, we've seen in the past that the non-superstar goalies, I mean, Daly, you know this, you know, for a fact that how many goalies have caught lightning in a bottle who aren't superstars. You know what I'm saying? That are just serviceable, but they get hot. You know what I'm saying? Where I agree.
Just get hot and go win a title.
Yep.
But if you look back just at the last couple teams, maybe one you could definitely make that argument for that called lightning in a bottle, and that's St. Louis.
Yeah, but nobody in the NBA ever catches lightning in a bottle. That's the difference.
It's too long. It's too long. It's like a marathon. It's too long.
It's just the way the league's set up. Like no team just catches lightning in a bottle in the NBA. Think about it. Think about all of your champions. They're not lightning in the bottle champions. They never are.
No.
And they usually go back again and win another one, right? Like all the ones you've seen, like the Spurs of the years, the Pistons,
dynasties,
the Lakers. The NBA is more built for you winning for a long period of time. Not that you can't in the NHL. Not that you can't. And this doesn't discredit Carter Hart at all. It doesn't try to discredit the argument. It's just, to me, like superstars in the NBA are so much more important. And I'm not saying Joel Embiid's a top 5 player. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just saying that my chances of finding another star player are hard. You know, the NBA is like, man, like, yeah, you can get star players outside of the top 5, but shit, we lost consistently to try to get in the top 3, so we could get our stars. In hockey, you can retool and rebuild without getting top 5 picks. You know, you can in a different way because if you draft well, because like there's more misses in hockey drafts than in the NBA per se, because there's more of a pool of talent. Make sense? Like Brian knows what I'm trying to talk about. Like there's just more of a pool of talent where I can get cute and try to take an 18-year-older that's only played like junior hockey, right? And cute with that, or I can go for the college kid. Like there's so many different feel like directions in a way, right? With the NHL that you can draft.
Sort of. Most of the guys that you're drafting are going to be coming out of juniors anyway. A lot of them aren't going to touch college hockey until after they get drafted. So
Weird too.
It is because Cam York, who just got drafted 2 years ago by the Flyers, is now playing at the University of Michigan. So
I draft a guy to send him away. I send I'm sending him away to the Army. You know what I mean? Like, I only draft this guy. I'm gonna send him away to the Army to go get his ass kicked in college for 4 years.
Oh, he's killing it though. He's playing really, really well. He is.
Flyers have a big upside.
Flyers have a huge upside, and I mean, we could revisit this in like another year or two, see where Carter Hart progresses to. We still have a really small sample size in Carter Hart, as you know, JoJo's been established in this league for a few years versus 2 years. So this is something we can revisit for sure.
Okay, Joe. Then take Joe off of it and put Ben on it then, and I'll take Ben over Carter Hart then. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, either way you want to slice it to me, Joe. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take a potential big time star in the NBA over a franchise goalie, and that's not a slap in the face of the franchise goalie, if that makes sense. I don't want any of them to go. We don't have a lot of talent here in this city, so I'll take them all. Can I take them all?
You guys want to get to Todd?
Yeah. Yes. Put Todd in here.
All right.
Fam, if you want to join us, you know how to hop in. Slide in.
What's up, Todd?
What's up?
What's good, man? What's good, guys?
Long time no talk, my man. What's happening?
I know, brother. I know, man. It's been a long journey from terrible drafts to a surprise Super Bowl to where we are now. Yeah. From the late Andy Reid era to the beginning of the Chip Kelly era to now the what the hell era.
That's probably the best way to say it. The what the hell era. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, first off, we got to get rid of Howie. I mean, this is truly embarrassing. There has not been one draft pick that we have been truly satisfied with from him. Because I don't even count Fletcher Cox part of his draft. I mean, he was there, but it was all Andy.
Yep.
Right, too. Right, Todd? Isn't BG Andy pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, right?
Yeah, because we gave Andy hell for picking BG over Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas, yep.
Oh, and Kelsey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fight on. I mean, we're putting the whole reason we want a Super Bowl together here.
Yeah, I mean, between Andy Reid era and Chip Kelly era, that was the Super Bowl team. That was pretty much the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
I mean, besides a couple of free agents, but I mean, if you talking about draft wise, Zach Ertz, Jason Kelsey, who else? BG, Fletcher, Michael Kendricks.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to count Jalen Mills. I mean, that was a late round pick, and yeah, late round picks are okay if you keep him because he's a hard worker. That's how I look at it.
Who brought in Malcolm? Chip, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Of the Chip bring in.
Mhm.
So, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
your key contributors: Zach Ertz, Chip Kelly pick. I mean, Chip sold a tank off a car lot that too. He's like, "Oh, big guys beat up on small guys," and we're like, "Oh my god!" Like, it's football, but we never thought of that. So yeah, I mean, you really look at it; it's almost like, it's almost what happened with the Phillies in a way. Back before, where it wasn't, that was Ed Wade's picks. It just took somebody else to come in and sort of put the right pieces around it, and that's sort of what Howie did. with that roster. Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, plus I say the defense was completely out of scheme where we was trying to do 3-4 where we was already a 4-3. So I think it was just the Chip Kelly days defense anyway was just completely, we wasn't built for no 3-4.
Mhm.
We 4-3 defense always have been and always will be. So it's like, that's where it went wrong. And well, where Chip went shopping for groceries and made two of the dumbest trades. I don't know. I don't know who was dumber between as GM, Chip or Howie, because we got rid of LaShawn McCoy for a linebacker. That's ironically, and we gave DeMarco Murray money, and he was garbage. Well, we didn't even run him right. A north to south runner, and we're going east to west with him. I mean, like that was the most stupidest thing ever. And it seems like from that play calling it kind of seeped into what Doug or Press Taylor or whoever the hell is calling plays. I'm getting tired of these rumors about, oh, he's already given up play calling and why he's still holding up that retarded ass sheet. Okay, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. You know, he's still calling plays. And I'm like, okay, if we went to the Super Bowl within 2 years of your tenure, what was your formula? You had an offensive coordinator and you had a quarterback coach. That's it. You don't have an offensive coordinator and you have his Carson Wentz's best friend.
Yep.
Because I do not believe in Press Taylor. That is Carson Wentz's best friend. And when it comes to coaching, I can see him just having a bowl of popcorn, like, oh man, you missed that one, but you'll get it next time, bro. You got it. But
you're right.
Todd,
what's up?
Todd, I'll ask you this. I was going to say, you know, if Jeffrey Lurie came to you, all right, and said, we want you to tell us the first 3 moves we make the second this offseason is done. It could be a player that's let go. It could be a player we draft. It could be somebody that's fired. What first 3 moves are you telling them to do?
Well, because the way NFL is set up, we do free agency first and then draft. I think that is so retarded. It's like I'd rather draft first, then do free agencies because it's like, okay, I can fill in the pieces I truly need through free agency compared to the draft. And it will make you concentrate more on draft. Well, first off, I'm telling Lori, it's like, why the hell we gonna pay money to a scout team and not use them? I mean, we gotta trust our scout team for one thing.
Yep.
2 is like if we're trying to rebuild this thing, we're going to have to let go of some big names. That's what I'm telling Jeffrey Lurie. I'm like, okay, Fletcher Cox, he's getting old in the tooth, you know, because we can't keep looking at Aaron Donald and trying to put Fletcher Cox in that same category. He's good. He's been great for us, but it's like, okay, is he truly taking attention on the field again like he was 2 to 3 years ago? And we done replaced him with Malik Jackson. We paid Hargrave, and these guys are supposed to be wreaking havoc because, oh, Fletcher's taking on double teams, but I'm not even seeing it. I'm seeing the line getting pushed back, and that's ridiculous. So I'm like, get rid of Fletcher, get rid of Zach Ertz because we need draft capital. I mean, when you talking about you don't even know where to begin on your team, and we just went to the Super Bowl 4 years, that's terrible. Because that means that's 3 years of terrible drafting. I mean, the video, I heard about it and I actually watched it where Justin Jefferson actually posted from the Minnesota Vikings war room. That's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing. And like you said, Godfather, we do not pay no attention to the SEC. Did not DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson all came out of the SEC?
Yeah.
So that means they actually know how to play wide receiver.
We don't go there ever. We don't We don't go there rarely ever. We go Pac-12. We go everywhere but like early. Like we'll go there later. I mean, Derek Barnett obviously.
Yeah, I mean that's why. I mean, like I know about Derek Barnett, but can we truly be honest? He's not like. I mean, if I want to use him, I want to compare him to Clowney. Okay. They Clowney had the hype, but he was a great run stuffer. He didn't get the sacks either. But that's the thing about it. At least Clowney made up for his athletic ability and completely stopping the run. I mean, Derek Barnett sometimes stops the run. I mean, he showed up on Monday night. I can give him that, because to me, when you talking about you playing Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football, that's where stars are made. Okay, you're supposed to, like, you're on prime time. So I'm like, you should be giving your absolute all, because hey, everybody's looking. I don't want to make a name for myself, because right now I'm just like, I don't want to give up on Miles Sanders, but I'm like, yo, we're not even using them. So what's the point of even having them? Trade bait. I'm like, let somebody else take them and somebody else give us a number 2. The Jalen Hurts pick, I swear, it was funny because I remember Deshaun Jackson. I don't even know why he was on the video, but they was live streaming when we made that pick, and he didn't even know what to think of that. So I'm like, okay, that was your first sign right there of Howie, you retarded. Okay, you got a wide receiver on live camera, and he didn't know what to say. He was like, oh, that was an interesting pick. I didn't see that one coming. It's like, okay, and then we revisit, speaking of Deshaun Jackson, how much money did he get paid?
Over
Too
10.
much, I'll tell you that.
Too much.
Yeah,
Boy, I mean, that's what you call winning the lottery ticket and constantly getting money every year.
Yep. Yep.
Not just the one-time lump sum where they get the taxes taken out. No, he's getting paid now for 3 years, and we haven't yet to did anything but a good old-fashioned 1:00 Sunday game against our division rival, and then nothing.
3 years,
And-
$27 million.
Woo! Boy, I wish I had that.
Close to $10 million a year. And for a guy that, okay, I'm going to get myself in shape in the off season. I'm going to say this is the best I felt. I mean, we heard a lot of stuff.
My God! Every day we were so worried about Deshaun Jackson and making sure he was healthy. I mean, you think that we all became doctors. It's like, hey, is he feeling good? How's the legs? Is his back hurt? Like, give him a couple of days off, and we get barely a game out of him for this year, and then nothing. Came back. I mean, he was looking good. I'll give him that. When he came back, he did look good, and it's messed up. He got hit like that and got taken out, and no penalty was called. But at the same time, is an indictment of this whole roster. We talking about, our Super Bowl window is completely open. It's never open. Okay, if you ain't got young guns down, like I would say, during that Super Bowl run, I can't even think of, actually, besides Derek Barnett, the young gun that was going to help contribute. It's like, you got to have young guns while you're making the Super Bowl run. Because right now, I can tell you that's why Kyle Murray and the Cardinals are looking good, because they got young guns. They got young guns on defense. So you're like, okay, that's a team that's going to be dealt with for a while. The Seahawks, I mean, you finally give Russell Wilson that primary target besides Lockett, who can just burn you downfield. So it's like, that's what you got to do as a GM. It's like, yeah, it's cool that you did the whole, I picked up Alshon out of nowhere. I picked up Ajayi during the season, and that helped during the Super Bowl run. But it's like, that's not a formula to get you to Super Bowls. Okay, that's bottom line is, the formula is pretty much the Steelers. You got to draft young and develop. We do not do that. Neither of them.
And make the smart, right? Like they have, and make the smart moves like the Steelers have made over the course of the last couple of years too, where they've gone out.
Absolutely, but it goes hand in hand.
It's all. Yeah, you're right. It all ties in the one, and it's something that we haven't done good. Period. In terms of, there's no talent. There's just no talent. There's not enough. It's so many reaches. And that reach could be reaching 7 picks, right? But reaching 7-8 picks in the National Football League is a difference from you getting an all-pro caliber player or a guy that you're praying is a Pro Bowl caliber player. And we all know the difference that those types do. Because one's a fan vote and one's a player vote.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to me, and that's why I say the draft is so important. I'm glad that, from Ryan, from you, the draft parties are amazing. I mean, I don't know how many daggone draft simulators I did this past year and email them, and half of them did have Justin Jefferson or the top 3 wide receivers because they dropped close enough to us. But it's from the first round to the third round. If you do not hit on those picks, you are setting your franchise back.
Yep.
Okay. And then it was like salt in the wound to me is when every like broadcasters or, I mean, I love Louis Riddick. I mean, I felt like that was just what Howie just needed. I mean, just a straight bar burner, but he pretty much saying like, if you look at our first round, our second round, and our third round picks compared to everybody else in the league, everybody got something they can build off of or develop. I'm actually kind of sick and tired of seeing the Steelers got a wide receiver factory.
Oh
Okay,
my
how
God. Oh, they're like 50.
I'm tired of these comments. I'm tired of there's talent time. We don't develop it. Come on, man. Look who we've passed on. That's talent. That's talent. That's talent.
Okay, who's that? Joker? Okay, nice picture, but okay, sweetie. We get JJ Arcega-Whiteside, who is a complete block of marble. Well, I won't even call him marble. I would just call him a complete block of trash compared to DK Metcalf, who's already a chiseled marble and just needs to show how to run routes. I mean, you just show him how to run routes. He's like, okay, he runs a freaking 4.4. Okay, there's one thing. What do everybody say in the NFL? You can't teach speed.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do not care about I know we trying to knock him on the whole footwork drill and all these little short drills. He's not you. That's how you can tell who knows about what they're drafting. Okay, are you drafting this guy to be a slot wide receiver, or are you drafting him to play on the outside? Because if you drafted him to play on the outside, he's physical enough. Nobody's going to push him off the line. He's actually going to throw people, and then he has the speed to get down the field. I mean, yes, Carson
I was told the other guy since May. I mean, I got people pushing this agenda down my throat.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Reagor was this outside guy. He's got a catch radius guy. He goes up and gets it. He's explosive. He's all these things. And guess what? Can I be honest with people? Outside of a couple plays, he's been none of them things. And I'm tired of people saying, well, they're not using him to his strength. Guess what? When you were taken in the first round in a skill position, you equal all the strengths. You understand? Or you're not good enough to play at this level. I'm so sick and tired of people making excuses for players and blaming coaches for it. Shit. Are we okay? Do we know what elite talent is? And then the talent you develop talent rounds 3 through 7. Rounds 1 and 2 are, oh my goodness, are impact guys automatically if you're good at your job. Shit.
Well, you gotta. That's why I say you gotta throw 3 in there, because I'm sorry, in the third round, that's where your scout team, really comes into play, because you finding those diamonds in the rough in the third round. Because I had because I actually seen him play in Appalachian State, but he's down in Cincinnati with another second round linebacker, and they got their pretty much their linebacker in tandem for years to come. Like,
Yep.
That's their linebacker tandem. But we pick a guy who barely ever played under the Friday Night Lights. Okay, he played one time, and that was because of schedule. Okay, and then I'm like, he goes to college. There's no college, barely any tape. It's just him on the kickoff team, or him getting blown off blown out of the hole, but he was able to run him down. I'm like, okay, he's fast, he's a physical nature, but I'm not seeing no fundamentals. I'm not seeing no basics. And we're in the NFL. If you don't have none of that, something to build off of, we don't have time to be starting from scratch. That's 7th round. That's Jordan Mailata. If he's got physical traits, and hopefully he picks up the game. But you choose that in the third round over viable linebackers. But it's truly the reason why I say it is Howie, because when the scout team just threw you under the bus saying, we told him to get Justin Jefferson, we told him to get Jeremy Chin. Right now, those are 2 players that's going to the Pro Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man, you can give me DK. Like, when people bring up DK, I don't really get too up in arms with it, because, like, I just would have taken him because he's a specimen. But, like, a lot of teams pass on him for a couple rounds. So it's not like we're the only ones who do it. That being said,
no, I mean, but we also got Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, there was other guys in the second round that are better than JJ. Like you could have got just Joe Schmo from freaking Hawaii and probably would have been more productive than JJ. So, anything's better than him. But the real miss for me comes this year. And it's not because I don't think Jalen will ever be able to play. I don't know. I don't got a crystal ball. But what I do know is, and Jake's heard me say this, Ryan, Dale's, and I know, Todd, I know you have, is that I don't give a shit if you're catching 100 passes, because people have tried to play this narrative with me on Facebook more so than anywhere else, where Todd, he just doesn't fit our system. And I said, let me tell you something. 100 catches fits every system. You understand? 100 catches in the SEC is like having 2 million in the Big 12. It's like you had 2 million catches in the Big 12. That's what that equates to me. All right. So when I see 100 catches, I don't care if he did it in a slot. I don't care if he did it up in the 700 level. I don't care if he caught a ball in the press box. I don't care where he lined up to catch a ball. He caught 100 of them in the best conference in football, where he plays Georgia, Alabama, where he's playing the best defenses, pro level defenses. So now he knows how to get open. He knows how to run routes. He knows how to be elusive. Besides another guy who was a gadget spinner who could run straight. And guess what? He can't even do that well. He can't even run straight that well. So what's left? That's the indictment on this organization. I'm not even DK indicting, because listen, we all thought JJ from what we saw of him was his big target and blah 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 blah. Right? We all thought that. So I'm not gonna go back and play Monday morning quarterback on that one. All right. But what we all did say, and all of us, everybody, besides a couple people, were like, hey, Jefferson or Queen, Jefferson or Queen, Jefferson or Queen, Jefferson or Queen. And sometimes we're not always right. This time we were so right. It's now we're punching ourselves in the face every time we turn on Red Zone on Sunday. Like literally, I just want to tell somebody every Sunday at 1:00, just come sneak me. Just come sneak me right in the jaw because of Jefferson.
I mean, I'll give you that one. Like, even with the whole JJ, I mean, I'll admit that one too. I mean, because we just came off of just dealing with Alshon and all the injuries and just how terrible he was looking. So it was like, okay, we'll take that. But it's like the way it's played out I think that's what it is for everybody. It's just how it's playing out. Because when you're playing against a team that you see him making prime time numbers, and you look at our second round pick, not even on the active roster, is like that one drives the stake in there. But this year, you're absolutely right, Godfather. I mean, because we all chose the top three. We all knew who the top three is, and if we got in, and like Howie, that's why I say Howie fucked up on twice, because you let Lamb get close enough that you could have had traded up for him. I mean, is Lamb truly balling? Nah, I mean, we can say that he doesn't have Dak. I mean, we can chalk that up because he has made some splash plays. But compared to Justin Jefferson and Queen, I mean, Jesus, Queen, my God. That boy flies, like, if he's not even near the gap, he still flies and he's still meeting the running back. I don't know how he does it, but it's crazy to see. But then you had Justin Jefferson right there. An SEC big wide receiver that you can move. Then that's the problem. I think that's what we love about the SEC. You can't just be good at one thing, because those coaches are not going to allow you to be good at one thing. They was like, oh, you can play on the outside? Well, try to play on the inside. Oh, you think you're a big-time linebacker? Here, you got speed? We'll move you to safety. Okay, Isaiah Simmons is the most freakish dude I have seen. He's a linebacker that could drop back into safety. Do you know what a defensive coordinator would love? I mean, like, he's like, oh my God, what can I do? Compared to Jim Swartz, oh, we're just gonna line up. Everybody line up and do your best. Oh, wait, hold on, stop corners. You can't press up. Don't press. You got to get back. You got to be ready for anything, even though there's gonna be a slant every single play.
Yep.
Like this, like when we play the Packers, I guarantee you, there will be at least 10 Aaron Rodgers passes for 20 or more going slant routes. And I see Avonte Maddox getting stiff on by Adams because he's just so small and he's on the outside. I mean, that was really retarded. He was a dumb. I loved him in the slot. He should have stayed at the slot. We should have kept Sidney Jones. I mean, yes, it was his track record with us wasn't good, but he was at least a decent size on the outside and would have gave Slay at least a little bit of help. I mean, I'm not trying to say Maddox is trash, but
Yeah, Maddox is trash.
Oh,
I'll say
yeah,
this.
I'll say it.
I'll go right with you. I mean, I would have kept Sidney. I was a big, not a believer in Sidney per se, but Brandon Graham said a lot to me that made me and believe that Sidney was tougher than we all thought. And for some reason, when my team captain comes out and says that, and my GM decides to move on with him, the time is yours. I don't get it. But what I will say is, okay, worst case scenario then. Worst case. Leave Avante in the slot. You can bring in Nickel Roby Coleman too, because I don't think Avante's any good anyway. So bring in Coleman if you want to too. But then worst case scenario, just let Jalen Mills play the other second corner then. Worst case scenario, just let the guy who's been a good corner, not a great one, just an okay, sometimes above average, gets beat a little too much. Just let him play second corner then. I mean, just let him be the second guy. And then figure out who your other safety next to McLeod's going to be instead of the experiment then. You know what I mean? Because now you experimented with two guys. You put one guy at safety who I think could translate there if he plays there a couple of years and turn himself into a decent one, because it just takes time. But the other guy, you're experimenting with him too, because now you're putting him from an inside guy to an outside guy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I thought the reason why we kept Jalen Mills was that security blanket, because we always get riddled with injuries. And so we was all believing that Mills was going to be making splash plays as a safety. Not one, not even a drop. So when he came in and helped us on the corner, he still oh my God, I don't know how he still gets burnt on double moves, but he's still viable. And like I said, when Avante Maddox rookie year, he went from the slot where he was doing really good. He even played safety. So I was like, don't have him on the outside. I know he was trying to pump him up like Jim Schwartz, all of his favorite little toys, from Gary to Mills and Avante, like, oh, these are really superstars. But it's like, can we truly be honest? I was like, your scheme sucks, and you're not putting none of your players in the best position. I mean, truly not. Because I'm sorry. When you talking about the late, great Jim Johnson, I'm expecting a blitz just about every damn down. Okay, and getting after the ball and expecting turnovers. I don't even remember did we even have a turnover, like an actual pick in this season? Because I truly can't even think that we do.
Mills has one off of
that was all. Oh yeah, that was a tip drill, and we almost dropped that one. I'm sorry. But
I think we got 3 total.
Forehead, that he didn't catch, right? That he didn't catch. Coleman had one go off his forehead. Steve, nobody's just complaining about Maddox. I mean, nobody's been harder on this in this city on Darius Slay than me. So, I mean, I've ripped the dude. I don't, he's not even top 10 corner to me. And they paid him top 10 corner money, and that's fine. And that's just another indictment on Howie Roseman. I mean, Darius Slay's not a bad corner. There's no me crushing him, but I thought he stopped everybody, because all I wanted to hear is how he slowed Amari Cooper down. I don't give a rat's ass. DK Metcalf is a specimen. How you going to slow him down? And when you get your lunch eaten for 10 for 177, you have a right to get crucified that the day after. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Steve, listen, this is equal opportunity bashing when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. There ain't a guy on this roster that's like, hey, you get a free pass this year. Nobody.
Oh, absolutely, Godfather. I'm sorry like this. Sorry, Steve, but I mean, yeah. Because that's how bad this team is. It's like you don't even know where to start on bashing. I mean, Jason Kelce even is having a bad season. I mean, snaps over the head. I was like, wow, this is the very first time like he's been consistent on fuck ups. So it's all around. But yes, you're right, Godfather. You pay Slay like a top 5, and he's giving you between top 10. And that's what I like to call the 1B/2A. He's a great number 2 corner, but is he that number 1? Does he get the title of shutdown corner? No. He's good. Hell, I mean, I thought the corner from the Jaguars, he went to Denver. The name is not hitting on me. Yep. Yeah, there you go. I thought he was really good. I was like, shoot, we could pick him up for a steal. I mean, he only went for a third, a fourth.
I was going to say, I think it was only a fourth. I think it was a fourth.
A fourth or fifth.
Something like that.
Yeah. And that was a serviceable. So I was like, okay. You get him, you get Boye, because we had about 3 or 4 damn 5th round picks. There you go. That's your secondary.
Yep.
That's what your that's where you know you got your secondary. You don't have to have that absolute star. You just don't have to have people getting burnt like toast.
Exactly.
That's like awful life that you got to take a spoon and knock all the black crap off.
Well, think about this.
That's how bad our daggone corners have been.
Think about this, Todd.
Okay, just truly.
Todd, he's playing up. He's playing up.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, but not even getting a bump on him.
Yep.
Then why are you playing up close to him then? If you're not even going to get if you're not going to get all handsy within 5 yards, then back the hell up. All right, because within 5 yards, I can literally get an assault charge. All right, I can literally get an assault charge legally within 5 yards in the NFL, and nothing's called. So if I'm not going to get physical up front, the reason Jalen Ramsey is the best cover corner in football is because he's not scared to get up in your face. If you're DK Metcalf, if you're freaking Megatron, he's going to get up in you. He's going to get physical with you early and often, and take the fight to you. And I saw Slay. I mean, we all did. We saw Slay up in DK's face per se the whole game, but there's no bump. There's no physicality. It makes no sense. He's supposed to be a big physical corner. Then get physical. How's there no bump off the?
Well, this is what I like to call, like, you really like to see the fight in the dog. Okay, yeah, DK is a little bit bigger than you. He might be a little physical than you. But if you're not steadily fighting like a little dog would, don't care how big you are, just steadily scrapping, whatever. I mean, I thought that's what he was doing because y'all had tension, whatever. But then he's catching balls over your head. I mean, yeah, he was in the perfect position, but it's like you're not fighting. Okay, so why, like you said, why are you up on him if you're gonna just give him a clean pass? So
Listen, guys.
I just think
we're not just crushing.
We got fat off the hog. Oh, Slay isn't a problem. Come on now, y'all.
He's not getting coached right. With the 8th ranked pass defense. Is that even true, Colin? Is that true? That's like almost a numbers lie. You know what I mean? Is that a show? Like
yeah, all numbers are not true because this is why I say the QBR, all these numbers and stat guys, throw all that out the window, okay? What does your eye see? Okay? What does your eyes really see? Okay, when you're I'm over here in Germany. I wake up from either, if it's a 1 o'clock game, I'm good because it starts at 7. But that Monday 8:30 I'm waking up at 2 o'clock and staying up all the way close to by the time I go to work, and I got to go into work because I've seen the most garbage behind play every single day, pretty much. Like this whole entire season has been complete garbage. And you gonna tell me that we got 8th ranked pass defense? Really? Like people putting up 30. We thinking like we got a shot because the defense holds them to 17 or between 20 points. That's supposed to be good for us. Our offense, that's why like we all wanted Dougie's head because it just seemed like just Kelly, same plays, just a different week.
So
we're not even running the ball.
Listen,
at least Chip ran the ball.
Run the ball.
At least Chip ran the ball. He ran in the wrong direction, but at least he ran the ball.
He ran this way. He ran this way. He's like sideline to sideline. Like he's So
but
give me
at least he's running the ball. That's what
I want everybody to give me this answer right now, right? Over under. Attempts. Just from our running backs. Over under 28 this week. Where you going? You going over? You going under? That's all our backs.
28 rushes.
Total.
Is Jordan Howard off the practice squad yet, or are we just keeping him there just to keep him there?
They kind of hinted at bringing him up this week.
It looks like he's probably going to be on the start. It looks like he's going to play. That's by Doug's comment. I mean, it's Doug saying it, so where anything Doug says, expect the opposite. But it looks like they're going to bring him in.
See, and this is where, because I would love to say the over. I wanted to say the over last week, but the problem is if Miles or Jordan Howard just gets 1 yard, Doug is like, throw it out the window. Just keep throwing. Because that's all it takes is we get 1 yard gain, and he was like, oh, it's not the typical 5. We got to pass it. We got to change it up.
Yep.
It's like they pull that trigger so fast. I'm looking at every team that played against us. They do not give up on the run. It's like we give up on the run, and that pretty much cancel all play action plays. Like the defense is not freezing for nothing.
Yeah,
So
I'm going under. I'm going 20.
Too.
Just because at the end of the day,
I gotta go under.
Yeah, Doug's not running the ball, and 2, I think we're going to be down in this game by like a touchdown or 2 the entire time to where it's going to force them.
Say no.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I always say we lose coin toss because I'm like, it don't even matter because we can try to defer. I mean, I'll always defer. I mean, hell, we all play, man. You always want the ball in the second half. So, but it's like I'm like, teams are like, oh, I'm not afraid of their offense. I mean, hell, they can have the ball in the first half. We'll get ball in the second half and murder them.
They
literally give us the ball because they know they.
No, they can say you got the ball first. They can say you can have the ball to start every quarter. Like some teams say, hey, you just take the ball every quarter to start. We'll give it to you. The way you guys are moving. Everybody's saying under, and I understand why. And straight face, everybody should say under. I'm saying over this.
Yeah.
Because I got them winning this game somehow because they're going to run the football well. Because Green Bay doesn't stop the run well. And then we're all going to be like, oh, where does this come from? It's Doug in December. That's what he does.
Yeah, I kind of agree
that's
with
why I
you
said it's like that's what I'm saying. We all want to run the ball because I'm like, who was the voice during that Super Bowl run that went up to daggone Doug and said, look, we got LeGarrette Blount, run the damn ball. And then from that point on, we became a nonstop running team. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's what's killing our offensive line. Because if you're constantly backpedaling, that's why Lane Johnson needs ankle surgery. Okay. Last time I checked, when you lean forward and you're coming off, you got more power. So you're using a sprinter. You got 300, 400-pound men turning into sprinters that's gonna maul people. Okay, we haven't mauled anybody. Okay, I was waiting for Jordan Mailata. I thought that was gonna be the first thing they teach him was how to do screens so he can get down the field and start running people over like the blind side. But no, he's missing down trap blocks and like, oh my goodness, he has his moments where it's like, okay, you developing, and then there's moments like, okay, he go sit on the bench. No, because I got old man Peters, who's a turnstile. I mean, my God, why did he? That's another Howie money. Like, why did you pay him? Why did you pay him to play left tackle and you know he's garbage? It's like we know it was coming. We knew the injuries are coming with him. Like, that was a idiotic. I mean, I'm glad Drexel's showing potential. Nate Herbig showed me potential. So that's one at least we can be proud of because we did have Howard Mudd. We can at least get good, viable offensive line coaches. So that's one thing I tip my hat on right now. Is just, we've been hurt. I mean, Brandon Brooks, I mean, he looked like a beast, but it looks like he's not going to be able to make it back in time. I mean, I wish he would. I mean, we need some type of hope. Besides this, Zach Ertz trying to come back. I don't know how much that's going to do. I hope it sparks. I mean, that's why it's so maddening about this season. If we go on a true run, which is possible, I mean, I keep my hope. I mean, I didn't buy I don't have a black, a green, and a white Wentz jersey for nothing. There's still hope. But it's just Doug and whoever the damn offensive coordinator is got to realize, okay, put Travis Fogelman, use Hightower. Let's get regular. Like, we got to have some speed out there. We can't have old people out here. And that's all I'm really seeing is trying to living off of names and not creating new names. And when you keep on trying to go back to the well every single time, it's not going to work. So I really hope that we do run the ball, do a couple little running backs out to the side, sneak them out. Because I mean, that's what Miles Sanders kept us alive throughout the season. I mean, hell, that was the only touchdown we scored against Minnesota, was that 20-yard bomb that he broke on that linebacker. But Mr. MVP, I don't know. He hasn't looked too good. I mean, everything. Well, I mean, like I said, it goes hand in hand. Carson hasn't thrown the ball. His mechanics is completely shot. I mean, he's right now. He's punch drunk. That's what these quarterbacks. That's what happens to a quarterback that gets hit all the freaking time. He can't see the field because he's too busy worrying about where the rush is coming. You can't feel the rush anymore, because when you get punch drunk, you're like this. I need to see where the hit's coming from. Now, there's no more feeling. So that's what I'm like. It really does start from the top. I mean, I've been hearing too much about Laurie and movies.
Todd, that's why he's staring everything down. You know what I mean? He stares every receiver down because he's like, he gets on one look. He doesn't trust going through his like progressions as a whole either, which is I feel like it's hurting him too, because he is punch drunk. He has been hit a million times, right? Where he's worried about everything else but going through his progressions, which, you know, makes sense to a point. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Because I was looked at that the very first game against Washington. We're already up 17. Okay, he did his job. He burnt Washington. We was literally holding Washington's heart in our hands. All we had to do was just squeeze. And that's what you do with the running game. I don't know why we brought back Corey Clement. I mean, like that was Howie. You know, but that's what I'm saying. If you knew you did not have Miles Sanders and you only had Boston Scott, that's when you make that quick little running back trade. You quickly, I mean, yeah, it would have sucked to try to hurry up and get back Jordan Howard, but you should not have let him left the building. You knew you had a 1-2 running back combo. You traded for the man. And you still let him walk out. That was just stupid. So by not running the ball, it has truly hurt Carson. It goes hand in hand. It was like I'm hearing now it's an anomaly of 2017. It's not an anomaly. It's called a balance. We had equal amount of running plays to passing plays. That's what Carson is. He's a balanced quarterback that can make the splash plays when need to. But if you do not have a balance to where it freezes defenses, yes, he's going to tend to kind of not go through his progressions fast enough because he's worried about hits. The man is so worried about hits. It's looking like he's going to have another back-to-back healthy season, which is great for us because that was his first knock. He can't stay healthy, but he's to the point where it's like he's playing too much hero ball. But at the same time, I can't blame him because there's nobody helping him. I mean, for Travis Fulgham was looking like that guy, then they took away his snaps. Why? Okay, he was starting to get
back. That's why. AJ came back, took some snaps from him, and that was a mistake.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now it's like, because as we saw during that little win stretch, he actually started developing chemistry with Hightower, Fulgham, you know, and because I mean, you see how Carson does. I mean, this whole season has been a wash, but you got to have chemistry. Okay, no, I don't care if you're paying him $100 million. No quarterback is going to take wide receivers that he's never thrown to and is going to have a field day. It will never happen because you don't know how they're going to run the routes. But he started to get a feel for Hightower speed. He knows the catch points for Fulgham. But when you take that away, you're not seeing it live. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you practice, you're going against your same defense. You're not going against nobody different. So when you have that, you kind of get in a little rhythm. But when you go in game speed is 5 times faster. So you need that rhythm. You need that cohesion. You need to know what the wide receiver sees and what you see. And right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing just plays being run. Let's drop Carson back. And he's sitting there waiting. And I was like, I don't blame him because when they go to the All-22, all you see is wide receivers still on their blocks. Like by the time we talking about, we always highlight the passes that Carson doesn't make. I'm like, go 3 plays after before that. He was getting hit, no wide receivers are getting open, and then when they finally get open, of course he can't see them. He's already been punched. He's already been punch drunk, and he's like, I don't know where to go. Do I really trust it? Like, he can't trust his throws, and that's terrible for a quarterback.
That's why, like, the question comes: would you sit him down? You know.
And I think Kurt Warner put it the best way. Is it goes hand in hand. Yes, it would help, but then as strong as our fan base is, and Lord forbid if Jalen Hurts, like I say, if he had the Nick Foles freaking that 14 or the 7 touchdown game with 0 interceptions. Oh my God, we're gonna be like, pay Jalen Hurts, like take away Carson Wentz's contract, pay Jalen Hurts now. And I'm like, I never believed in Jalen Hurts. Okay, the man got, he lost his job while you was the star at Alabama. Okay, yeah, they went back to you, but at the end of the day, which one? Okay, here we go. Which one are you taking? You taking Tua or Hurts?
Tua.
Boom.
Yeah, it's Tua. It's Tua.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Does Hurts have legs? Yes, but are you trusting his arm? Okay, and especially don't bring up the Big 12. Big 12 is Pac-12. Okay, there's no defense played in either of those divisions.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, when Hurts had to play against defense, sometimes you gotta remember, this is where Nick Saban was going through his transition from always running the ball, being a runner, like always getting those big time 5-star running back recruits to like, okay, I got to get some wide receivers. I got to change up my style. And Hurts was that transitional kind of piece. Like, okay, I'm becoming more of a passer. And Tua took him to the whole new level.
Yeah, he's a good leader. He can't throw the football. Steve, nobody's an apologist. He needs to play better. But Todd, we're gonna add Israel on here too. He's trying to get on here too, so we're just gonna keep adding on.
Yeah, man.
Israel, my man, what's happening?
The best in the business. No notes.
No notes.
What's good, Tom?
You're looking at it, man. Talking to you guys. This is fun.
Man, I got so many questions, man. I don't know where to start. But I'm just very disgusted, you know what I'm saying, as a Eagles fan, because, I'm a guy that expects greatness in Dynasty. I'm a guy that wants the Rooneys. I want the San Franciscos, the Bill Belichick's. I don't understand why my city can't be that. Why do I got to get put out the first round in the playoffs every year? The second round in the playoffs every year?
Because we took a key ingredient from the Rocky movies. We go ahead and give a statue so quickly before we even have like a viable title defense, and now you seeing it. I'm ready to go back to the States just to commit a felony crime to take down that statue, because that is the most stupid ass statue ever. Okay, I mean we don't like you give a statue to guys after they retired and been that franchise guy, not over one single play. Okay,
that guy can go out. So that guy can go out and look at his statue all the goddamn time, because that's more ego I need in the room. You know what? That's why we're not going back. That's why we've gone so south over the last 3+ years. It's because everybody in the room's got an ego now. Everybody went on a book tour, and that's from players to staff to the owner, because we all clamor.
Fed off the hog. Fed off the hog.
We did for a year too, so I can't blame them. But I don't know why we can never be that organization. Like, the closest thing we ever were to that organization were the Andy years. Even though we didn't win one, we were always in the mix. We were always getting to, air quote, the dance, and just not being able to get over the hump. But that was the closest thing we've ever had to that. And I don't know how you get that without having that franchise quarterback and that franchise head coach. And right now, I think all of us, even though we love both of them, are wondering if them two guys are the guys.
It's crazy.
Well, go ahead, man.
Because I've been watching Tom, and he said he wanted to give Coach Peterson another year, and like I like Coach, but Coach is kind of reminding me of Andy when they used to ask Andy, well, why can't we get a number one here? And he'd be like, well, it's like, why the fuck can we not get Donovan some help? And it's like, it's ignorance to me. It's really ignorance. Like when I watch Doug on these on these press conferences, it's like, Doug, you're like, to me, you're like the movie Will Smith and Gene Hackman when he said, you're either incredibly stupid or incredibly smart. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what the fuck's going on, and you're not holding Carson accountable, and all the other shit that these people asking you, and you're like, "Well, it's today. Is it today? Is today Wednesday?" I don't give a fuck what day it is. I'm sorry, I'm cursing so much because I'm just upset.
Fly.
I want to know about football. I don't. Is today Wednesday? No, we're not. No, we're not going to start Jalen Hurts Wednesday. No, Doug, it's like, it feels like to me, it's like, you're insulting my intelligence, Doug, and I don't like it. and I don't like it. And then listen, this is coming from a guy that I'm not a professional. The professional is Tom. That's why I always go to Tom and look to Tom. But God damn it, don't insult my intelligence. I've been watching this sport and this game since I was a child. And I feel I'm insulted by Doug. I really do. So it's like, yeah, Doug, I like you, but when I'm seeing these press conferences, I'm fed up with you and I'm ready for you to go. I'm fed up.
Fair. Well, anybody who wants Doug out, I can't argue. I can't argue the case aggressively for him to be here. Besides just hey, I think he's a good leader of men. But besides that, I can't tell you that the next guy you hire isn't better, isn't smarter, because you never know unless you go out and do it. Right? It's almost me scared to not move on. Is that fair too? I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's next, but we've all been through. I've been through a lot of bad football in this city growing up, and I'm not trying to go back there again. It feels like we're going there right now, and I don't know if this changing the coach get us out of that. This keeping him and changing the GM change it. The crazy thing right now is I don't think anybody out there has the right answer to what the formula is moving forward, outside of you better hit on some goddamn picks and get some Pro Bowlers in here and fix your damn quarterback. That's it.
Well, it's crazy too, because you look, and this is why it's so hard, because you look up and down the organization, not only this past offseason, like Tom, I know you and I have been talking about for, seems like all summer, and especially at this point, how it's been an offseason of lies ever since that draft pick started, ever since you go back to the final press conference of the season when Doug says, oh, yeah, my coordinators are going to be here. And then 48 hours later, they're both out of the city. But you look at the mindset, and I hate to keep going back to this, but it's the point. You look at the mindset since 2017. And Todd, you've been saying, we had that formula. We had that formula where we literally we won with a backup quarterback. When we had, it's not like we were the healthiest roster in the history of the NFL. We won despite that, because of the formula that we had. And when it came to Howie and Jeffrey and everyone in this organization, they said, oh, yeah, we had that formula. We're going to do everything the exact opposite.
What have we seen? What have we seen every year? We've seen every year they want to be behind the 8 ball. They want you to believe as an organization they're not good enough. These players strive off you thinking they're not good enough. It's been every freaking year. At some point, how about you just come in and just assume everybody thinks you stink then? Because I don't need to have my back against the wall every year and then expect to be the most resilient group ever. At some point, you're not going to be resilient. At some point, it's going to catch up to you. You're going to get squared up, and you're going to be like, oh, shit, I wasn't as resilient I was when I was younger. And that's just how it goes. So, this is an indictment on everybody. And somebody said pick a side for me. I thought I picked a side. I would keep Doug one more year. That doesn't mean that's the right decision. That just means that I haven't lost all my confidence in him, because I've watched my GM shatter this roster. And now I've watched him not coach good. So, I mean, I watched him not take 3 points the other night against Seattle. I've watched him in an 11-point game say, hey, you know what? We're going to go for it on 4th down when we can kick a field goal and make a one-score game. I watched him be an idiot right in front of my face, which is a fireable offense. That's what he did Monday night's fireable offense to me. It's a fireable offense. And I still would keep him one more year, with that all being said. So I can't Anybody who says, yo, Doug's got to go, I'm watching it, I can't disagree. That's how bad we are.
Mhm.
Well, I'll go. That's why I said that when you have such a bad season, and you just trying to look like, okay, I'm trying to find any kind of hope. Like that's where you go through like different religions. It's like one day you're a Christian, one day next day you're a Muslim. I mean, like you're trying to find anything to bring you hope and enlightenment, and that's why it's like you getting all the just fire Doug, fire Howie. I mean, get rid of Carson. It's just. I think it just got to start with all Jeffrey Lurie. It's like, okay, you got fat off the hog. You need to go have a press conference and tell everybody, yes, I got happy off the Super Bowl. That's why I was trying to have a Super Bowl sign right in front of the locker room. We put this dumbass statues up here. He's got to be the first one to say, okay, the Super Bowl 4 years ago is long gone. We have to start not being the underdog. Like I'm getting tired of it now. I don't want to see no more dog masks. I don't like. It was good for that 1 year because we needed that inspiration when you got your. He was that MVP of that year. I don't care what anybody says. When you see an MVP go down and you like this, okay, either we're gonna just mail it in or we're gonna rise up. Okay, that's when you rise up. But now you're the main dog now. You're the big dog, and we have yet not been the big dog ever. I take that back. With Andy Reid, when we first got T.O., that was the only time the whole entire league feared us because they knew they did not want to see Donovan and T.O. in that defense because that's when we was truly wrecking.
I haven't felt a team be that fearful since when it comes to the Eagles. So we got a bunch of guys in the back house. So Todd, come join us next Friday, my brother.
Of course, man. Much love from Germany. I love you guys.
Listen, we appreciate everything you're doing.
Best in the business.
Keep us safe, my man. Keep us safe. We appreciate you.
Wow.
Yep.
No problem.
Bless.
All right. I'll catch y'all later.
I'll see you soon. Todd, a great call in there. Now we got the whole back getting loaded. So I'm gonna Israel, we're gonna keep you and we're gonna bring Bobby in right now. As well, but ask questions, guys. Spit them out to us. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're here. Bobby, what's up, my man?
What's up, brother? How is everybody?
We're here. We're trying to get through this.
Shit, you about fell down here.
Shalom, Bob. Shalom,
brother. How is everybody? How about Jabron's asking if we want to tank? Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about tanking one time here. So let's say we tank. You get a little tank ski, and then where do we go in the draft? What do we go? Skill positions? Did all this. Let's go. How about your offensive line? Jason Peters, what is he, 40? Kels, 33, 34. Who else you got? Pryor, 25. Brooks, 30. Where are you going, Tom? Ryan?
Lane's 30. Yeah, you
got Ertz is what is he? 31, 30?
30.
Yeah.
All these guys around 30. I mean, you're asking me? I know where we win at. We've all watched enough football here. I know you two guys that are coming on with us right now watch enough football in your lifetime like I have and like everybody else here has. I mean, I know where I win at. I went up front. You know what I mean? I win by protecting my quarterback. I win by creating holes for my running back. I win by getting pressure on the other team's quarterback, right? I mean, that's how you win in this league. So I know everybody like off the top is Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons, and I get it, they're studs. But like I'm almost looking like, well, who's the best left tackle, right? Who's the best left tackle in the draft? Who's the best? I don't even care if it's a guard. Like I can't be picky. I got to now rebuild this team up front. That's my opinion on it.
So freaking old. And then you see all these jabrones and all these people on Facebook, they're saying they want to draft another skill position. How many times do we have to drop the ball on a skill position before these idiots realize it starts up front, bro?
Yep.
You win that shit in the trenches.
Yep.
Well, Ryan, you had a little game you wanted to play, right, Ryan? So let's play with you guys.
I think it's perfect because we've talked about what could have been in so many different aspects. So hold on, I'll just get rid of Rome's comment so we can get the full screen here. And we posted this on all of our social media, so I know some of the fam already saw this. But it's kind of going back to the Matrix. And it's, which pill are you taking? And if the options are, for the blue pill, it's Alshon doesn't drop it, obviously going back to the Saints game in the playoffs. Red pill, Frank Reich never gets the Colts head coaching job and stays with the Eagles. I guess that's pink or purple pill. The Wentz never tears his ACL against the Rams. Or the black pill, Eagles draft DK and JJ instead of J-Jaw and Rager. So I'll ask all the fam in here and all the fam at home, which pill are you taking? And no, all is not an option.
Well, there goes my answer.
I'm gonna go weird. I'll go Wentz never tears his ACL.
Oh,
And because I really think the Robert Griffin factor, the like, it just seems like he hasn't been the same, even though he's been the same. Like, I don't know. I hate to blame something on an injury, but it's not like it's a minor injury. I know guys come back from it all the time, but his mechanics hasn't been as good. His footwork hasn't been as good. His elusiveness hasn't been as good. Like, I mean, I can't listen. I'm going to miss picks sometimes, right? I'm going to miss picks. Just part of the nature of the beast. That's a bad miss. Other teams have missed too on the same guy. But I'm going to say that if I'd rather my franchise guy never have to get his knee cut open. You know what I mean? Like, I'd just rather my franchise guy never get his knee cut open. And I'll see where my car. I might not win a Super Bowl that year. I don't know. I might be taking the statue that that Ty was talking about away from the stadiums. But like, I mean, at least I know that he never got cut open, which never leads to the back, which never leads to all the extra and the bad mechanics. I don't know. What do you guys say? You guys are our guests right now, so you guys tell us, and then Brian, Jake, and Rye, tell us what you guys think.
Okay, so I'll take Frank. And the reason why I'll take Frank, because I have a head coach that was a quarterback. And I have a quarterback that needs a mentor, that needs tutelage. I don't know if I said that word right, but my coach who was a quarterback, he stunk. And when he played, he stunk. And that's the reason why my quarterback is stinking. And I really feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why are you not holding Carson accountable? Because you're soft. And you're soft because it comes back and looks on you because you weren't that good. I need Frank here. I need Filippo here. I need somebody that can deal with Carson and tell Carson, hey, you're screwing up. This is what you do. This is what you're supposed to do. Not, well, I don't want to do this and this might. No. Because as a fan, I don't want to hear that, Doug. I don't want to hear that. I want you to hold my quarterback accountable. And you quarterback, so you should do with a quarterback. I want Frank back. I want him back.
Bobby?
Black don't crack, baby. Look, we could go Carson Wentz. We don't know if did we cut him open, or was it the head injury? We don't know. Or you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking it's the little side piece he done wifed up. Everybody's calling about the virginity thing. No, but I definitely would go DK, man.
It's hard to
Number one, you gotta have it, and I don't know, man. The rigor is not the answer in my book. J-Jaw, not the answer. Alshon's 52 years old, I guess now. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm going black here. I love throwing the ball. Don't get me wrong. I love running the ball. Everyone calls to run the ball. We all know where it starts up front in the trenches. You want to run the ball. Doug he lives in the shadows of Brett Favre and all these other people. I've said it for weeks. He's a gunslinger. He wants to do that. He's never going to run the ball 26 times.
It's not his makeup.
Can I ask Bob a question?
Yeah.
Hey Bob, who puts your players in position? You know what I'm saying? Better position. Your coaches, right? Your coaches put your players in the position to play better, to win, right?
I told you this earlier. These guys have been playing the game their whole life. It takes for you getting in the NFL, and these coaches got to get in your ass or give you some prep talk for you to get fired up Sunday to play. Personality and all this. What are we doing here? I get the coaches put these guys in position, but these guys don't play ball, man. The only one I've seen in the last 3 weeks is Singleton. He comes out fired up. It doesn't matter if they're down by 10 or down by 28. He's still slinging that wet hair like a damn WWE guy.
Hey, listen, but I'm not talking about the play of the players. So I don't know if you guys remember the Detroit game with Ryan Matthews, and he kept fumbling.
Yep.
And Doug abandoned the run, which I understand because he kept fumbling. But Doug pissed me the hell off when he kept rolling Carson out and he abandoned the run. It's just like, the play calling sets up the players to be the best that they can be. The plays that Doug are calling and everything he's doing is like, it's predictable.
It's stale,
And this is not from me. This is from me watching Tom talking. A lot of other people, and I'm like, damn, this shit doesn't make sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, Doug, it's your job to put these guys in the best position, and your play calling is not doing it.
How much do you put? How much do you guys put that on 11? Because we talk about him being a gunslinger. We talk about him wanting to feel like he can make the big play all the time. How much of that and like changing plays to the line ties into like maybe they're having a little tug and a little pull, to tug. I can't even talk right now, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like maybe they're having a little back and forth on the fact of like of him changing all the plays to passes. Maybe like I don't know, but I'm watching him go to the line all the time and get snaps off of 1 second on the clock, on the play clock, right? Every time. And that usually goes to a quarterback changing plays and trying to get into what he thinks is their best play with what he's seeing. So I'm starting to think that he don't see shit well. Like he don't see nothing. That maybe he forgot how to read defenses. Maybe he wants to take the home run, go for the home run every play. I don't know. I know Doug doesn't love running the football. We've known that. Usually this time of the year, he'll get a little bit more 55-45 with it, which we all sort of want him to be. I don't know why it takes him this long to do it every year. It's like the definition of insanity. I don't know. I don't know the reason when you've had 14 different offensive line groupings or whatever the hell it's been that like the easiest thing for an offensive lineman to do is the run block for the most part. Like it's easier for them to come in and run block. But I don't know. I mean, listen, it's hard to say that these coaches aren't coached well. Like it's hard to say like, no, I think they're coached well. Like I couldn't do that with like if you put a lie detector on me, I'm failing that because I mean at some point it goes on everybody. It goes on the guy grocery shopping. It goes on the guy who's calling the plays, who gets this whole 53-man roster ready to go on Sundays. Something we thought he did a great job with throughout his tenure. But it looks like some of that to me is wearing off in different aspects. Like it looked like they came ready to fight Monday night as a group. It looked like they came ready to fight. But when your offense is putrid, I don't know, like, this is the thing, like, are all these guys not good? Which you could tell me, yeah, because look at our offensive roster. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you have the smartest play caller in the country calling plays right now. I don't know if it's going to matter because of what we're watching out there. Like, nobody gets separation. I mean, Louis Riddick was talking about Alshon taking 27 days to do a post. I mean, no, a corner. He was doing a corner route. I mean, it took him 2 days. It was in slow motion. I'm like, my God, this is the slowest motion ever. Like, this is the new slow motion. And so, I don't know. This crazy thing, we could have this conversation for 10 hours and still not figure out what exactly that one thing is that's wrong with him. So maybe, listen, that's why after the game, I was close to saying, but I said it in my initial reaction, blow it all up. Blow it all up. Blow it up. If this is how the rest of this is going to go and we see incompetence all over. But listen, guys, the one thing I think we can all point to, and tell me if you agree with this, is that when everybody can't sit down at the same table and be a collective unit in terms of your general manager and coaching staff and everybody, and it's not a cohesive unit, you failed. You failed.
It's a broken culture.
Yeah,
Yep.
you failed us as fans. You failed this franchise. And to your first point, why can't we be that team that has a Patriots, Patriots, the Niners, of the past? Why can't we be one of them teams that wins a couple Super Bowls in a stretch? Well, you know why? Because all our guys got the biggest egos in the room. You know, Bill Belichick never changed his stripes on who he was.
Please charge the battery is low.
That was a little, man.
God?
Somebody counting for batteries low. The whole freaking.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys.
that was from somebody upstairs telling us the batteries low.
Sorry about that, guys.
Do we ever need a sign? I mean, we're trying to figure out a sign. It just told seriously. Go ahead, guys.
Sorry about that.
It's great. It's great. I don't care. It's funny. I'm so speechless to it because I feel like I've said the same things. I don't know what to say. I want to be apologists for some of these guys for what they have brought us, right? And you want to try to be one, but man, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
And me, Tom, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I want Doug to stay, but when I watch him talking to press conferences, like, what the fuck? So yes, it's hard. It's hard.
Right. What were you going to say? Because I stopped listening to pressers because I can't do it to myself. Because I want to. It's like politicians talking. You're not telling me nothing. You're just like you're lying right to my face. Like, what did we hear last week? Hurt's going to get extensive playing time. That aged well. Oh, we're gonna do this. Everything you said throughout the week, you did the opposite. It's
that's pretty much what it is. Hey. And all I was going to say was, you know, I'm taking the red pill because I think with Frank Reich here, you know, not only is he holding his offensive players accountable, I think he's keeping his coaches in check as well. So he's keeping DiFilippo in check. He's keeping Doug in check. You know, he's a guy. He felt like he was never going to take anybody's shit, and you know, he knew how to utilize the players that he had. Did he have the greatest players in the world? No, but he knew how to utilize the talent that he had, and he also took. I feel like he was always taking the time to go over stuff with Carson on the sideline, good or bad. You saw it. You saw it on Monday. Russell Wilson scored a touchdown drive. What was he doing right after the play? Sitting right with his coach on the iPad, going over stuff.
Well, I mean, there's nobody on the sideline to do it for some reason. But if I put a gun, hold on, this is what I love. If I put a gun to everybody's head on this panel, and I told you in 2017 you had to choose one, if I told you when we were walking down Broad that you all had to choose one, there's everybody in the Delaware Valley and all over the country that's Eagles fans and all over the world is choosing Doug Peterson. We all are. So, like the Frank thing, I love Frank. I do. I think he's a smart football guy. But I can't keep living on Frank because if you would have done a double barrel too, you could have came like both sides. Then you're done. There's no way you're surviving this. Better answer right. I'm picking Doug back then. Now, right now, Monday morning quarterback. Okay, yeah. I mean,
yeah. I mean, because now you're seeing the offense is bland. There's nothing special about it. You know, they don't do anything to keep the defense on their toes, keep them guessing. It's just it's vanilla. It's drop back and throw, maybe a run or two and a half. There's nothing special about it. And I'm not necessarily saying I want Frank himself back, but give me an offensive coordinator who is going to be creative, to keep the defense guessing, to hold these players accountable, to check Doug every once in a while that when he needs to be checked. But it ever since he left, it's just become more and more vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think with me, I'm gonna go to where Tom went with the pink or purple pill, whichever color you see. It'll be like that dress again. But
no,
it's blue or gold. You choose. But no, seriously, I think without Wentz tearing his ACL, like Tom said, maybe we don't win a Super Bowl that year. But I think just that injury leading to the back injury, the concussion was a freak accident. But again, all these injuries kind of pile up, and you kind of see his mechanics and everything fall off. After you see him throw a pass, immediately after he throws a pass, you see him twitch back a little bit. You see him step back from the line a little bit, make sure no one's falling on his legs, no one's falling around him or anything like that. So I think that mental aspect of it is still there, which is a problem because I think it's just a part of his game now. Now, again, can he fix it? Maybe. But I think what we've seen since the injury in 2017, I think it's always going to be a part of his game in a sense, to where it's always going to be in the back of his mind. But I think if he doesn't have that injury, I think we see a much more confident and a much more consistent Carson Wentz.
Can I say, too, looking at this before I give my answer, I'm proud of us that none of us went blue pill. Alshon doesn't drop it.
I thought about it.
And no, trust me, I thought about that too. I mean, how many times we thought, hey, we asked ourselves, what if Alshon didn't drop it?
Right.
But I think the misconception in this city, and listen, I do think we would have had a really good chance to win that game if he didn't drop it, win the following game against the Rams, and then, obviously go to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. But I sometimes laugh when people say, oh, well, if he catches that, we win the Super Bowl. Like it's a lock. Like you still have to find your way in the end zone in that game. Defend, then you gotta win the NFC title game and then win the Super Bowl. It's not like you dropped it in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? There's still a lot more steps you had to make. And don't get me wrong, that drop sucked. I mean, I fell on the freaking ground when that happened. I was it was awful. Right. But I'm glad nobody went there. I'm not gonna go Frank Reich doesn't get the Colts job just for one reason. That is, I think we can all agree. If he would have been here in 2018, he's getting a job that very next year. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Where that only guarantees me one more year of Frank. And I really look back at that season. As much as we missed Frank going forward, the defense was really the problem for a big chunk of that season. You know what I mean? So I can live with – and Carson had his own things. Like 2018, the last thing I'm worried about is Frank Reich. Now, getting Frank Reich or somebody in, absolutely. I don't want to go the pink/purple, not because I don't want to sacrifice my quarterback, but I almost don't want to change anything about 2017. You know what I mean? Like I almost just want to keep everything status quo, just because that got us that trophy. So I got to go black pill as well. I think Bobby, you also went black pill. Yeah, I mean, I understand like if we don't have an offensive line, none of it matters. But I mean, how many times we did it? Like an hour and a half ago, like an exercise when we talk about game changers on this roster. That guarantees me two on the I mean, you imagine a wide receiver core with Deshaun, even though I don't even care if Deshaun's healthy. I don't even care. Take the entire year off if we have DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson. So, and I think that really would show, hey, if you can't win with these two, I think we would really learn a lot about this offense and this quarterback. So I'm going black pill.
The girls was on out.
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if the black pill fixes my quarterback.
It's fair. That's fair.
A lot of confidence.
Does the black pill go with Doug play calling this year?
Does it change the play calling?
Field.
I lost him for a second. Is that what he said?
I lost him too.
No, does the black pill go? What Doug's play calling? We get those two guys, but Doug calls these mediocre vanilla plays with DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
I think them guys just get open.
Yeah.
I think they make you look smarter. You know.
Then you got Erskine underneath.
I mean, I think.
And you have him for 5 years.
That's a good point.
Where if Doug doesn't use him right for 1 year or 2 years, then bring in another guy and you have 3 years worth of them. You know what I mean?
But if Carson's not Carson that we expected him to be,
Exactly.
then it's all a mute point, right? So like if we had Frank or we had DK Metcalf or Alshon caught the ball or whatever, if 11 was never really 11 after that injury or the guy we drafted him to be number 2 overall to be, right? And we expected him to be like Donovan where he was a big part of this franchise and a winning culture for a long time. Like we don't know this is the case, but never been as good as he was that year after. Like even in 2016, even though we weren't good, he was making so many electric plays still, his rookie year because he had his legs under him. Like the Robert Griffin thing, he's never been as fast. Like he's never been the same speed he was. I was just watching replays of him his rookie year. I mean, the guy's run down the sideline like Lamar Jackson. Tears his ACL. He's never as fast anymore. Never elusive as he once was. Hence why the guy was never anywhere he went to start after that train wreck in Washington. He wasn't the same guy as he was his Heisman Trophy, like he was the Heisman Trophy. And I don't like to blame injuries on it. A lot of it's on the head side of it and everything. But I just wonder if he never got hurt. And is it part of like when we said we sold our soul for a championship? It's almost like we sold that pick and that talent over a 10-year period, 12-year period, whatever it was going to be. We sold that for one Super Bowl. That's what we did. So we did as a fan base. Like think about it. No shot. And it'll figure a way to go win that Super Bowl. Come on. Every time we watch Nick play anywhere else but here, he stinks. He's atrocious. The Bears haven't won a game. You know what I mean? Like he comes on the Bears, they were like undefeated, they were riding high, and then they can't win a game. All of a sudden, he can't make any throws. It's like the perfect storm that we sold our soul for. And I don't know how, like as much as we wanted to expect to get back there right away, it's almost like you're looking back on it now, like, yeah, we really did sell our soul. I mean, we knew it was a joke, but like the more I'm thinking about it, talking to you guys, like, man, as soon as that knife went in, he hasn't been the same guy. His numbers did, like 2018, part 2019 numbers look similar, but we talk about numbers lying to the eyes. To the eyes, he's never been as electric.
It was never him. It was like you would see signs of it, but it was never truly him.
Right.
You're right.
Okay. If it wasn't him, he still got it done at the end of the day. But how did the pills go? The blue was Alshon. The black was what?
DK.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go real quick. Blue, I'm gonna take because granted it was after Frank Wright, and that basically answers your question to me. Frank Wright, yeah, we had success with him. We had success without him. Without that drop, we potentially win that game. Like, I don't know your name was Ryan. Ryan said he made my point exactly. We still had to win that game, and it was tough. You know what I'm saying? But I think our defense could have made some stops because our defense was playing magnificent in that game. You know what I'm saying? Our front four was really hitting home, and I think that really it was a momentum game. You know what I'm saying? It was like a heavyweight bout of haymakers. You know what I'm saying? We took the first swing with that interception from Cravion, and then we jumped out on them, and then they swung back, and you know what I'm saying? So it was a momentum type of game, and late in that game, if we would have scored, maybe that momentum would have shifted heavily, you know what I'm saying? Especially on the road, you know what I'm saying? So I just think blue pill because then we play the Rams, and you know, I think Nick Foles kind of has the Rams number. I think we as the Eagles organization have had the Rams number, you know, since that game Carson went down and we beat him. But and actually early in that season we beat him again. We put 30 up on him. But then so you go to the black pill, the aftermath of everything. DK or JJ. Obviously you say DK, but then you go to Carson getting hurt. Okay, if Carson doesn't get hurt, we still have questions. We don't have a ring yet. We still have questions. Can he get it done in the postseason? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's
bro. Do we not have the ring now? Do we not have the ring now? I mean,
what with Pink? I mean,
if he does, yeah. If he doesn't get hurt,
but there was still some questions up here. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't have any questions up there.
It's a what up
in 2017?
He was making instinctively great. Yeah, he was up here. Yeah, but it was just in some games, the games that was close, the losses. I'm not talking about the wins. I'm not talking about the things he did great. I'm talking about the crucial moments in which he had to be cool, calm, and collected and poised. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what I was looking into. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me, I'm not trying to shit on him. You know what I'm saying? I just look for more. You know what I'm saying? Because it was our first time. I'm thinking, damn, if McNabb couldn't get it done when he was great, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really takes more than that to get it done in the postseason. That's all I was looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't know what he would have been in the postseason. I mean,
exactly my point. We see great people be great in the regular season. Kansas City is always great. And, well, when they had Alex Smith, they wasn't great, but they was getting there. But we all knew what they were in the postseason. You know what I'm saying? I just was hoping that we wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking for Carson not to be that. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And then with the Frank Wright thing going, it's like, yeah, he could call the perfect plays, but like you said, Tom, can we still execute? Can Carson be the Carson that he was? Is Carson going to be playing shitty like he is now? You know what I'm saying? And then who's really to blame? Is really on Carson. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I just think the blue pill gives us the opportunity to sustain that level of success. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I don't know.
It changes stuff. I mean, it changes stuff. I mean, I felt like that we all started to feel especially when we went up early in that game. You know, we were up real early in that game, weren't we? Up 17-0. Yeah. Where were we up in that Saints game?
I think it was 17.
17-0
or 20.
We should stop talking about if Alshon dropped it. We should start having a conversation that, hey, if we held on to a goddamn lead, right? We held on to a lead where things have been different. And forget Alshon.
Carson also let them put up 48 on us. Nick Foles, yeah, he struggled in the midst of the game, but we was all betting on Nick Foles to be Nick Foles. Can we not say that we thought Nick Foles hit him right on the hands? You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick Foles was getting in tune with the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game was on the line. We were seeing what Nick Foles has been for us, and that was clutch. We were seeing that. It was unraveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he also did nothing after he put up 17. I mean, the guy disappeared.
But it's a playoff game. You can't. What did he do then? He put the ball on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, yes, he didn't play that well after he put up 17, but he still was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me he still had us in that game. You know what I'm saying? It was the same. That was a tough defense we was playing against. Carson wouldn't have. What do you think Carson would have did? If Carson in that regular season game, Carson was throwing the ball up, like, it was just bad. Like, it was night and day. Come on now. Granted, Nick Foles didn't play that great.
I'm telling you how he would have did without, because he would never have the knife in his knee in 2017. So he would have balled out. That's my whole reason I'm taking the other pill before you. Your pill don't even matter, because I'm not going in the knee in 2017. I'm getting rid of your pill. I'm getting rid of every pill after, because I'm just not going in his knee in 2017. And now I got a guy who's electric at the quarterback position for the next 12 years. That changes everything. I don't know. I could have 3 Super Bowls right now if he never gets hurt. I don't know. I mean, the way he was playing in 2017, you're hard pressed. I mean, he was Mahomes before Mahomes. I mean, he literally Mahomes before Mahomes. He was making all them types of plays every night. He was the guy on ESPN. He was the guy in the top 10s every Sunday for something different all year long that year.
But
all year long.
Take that pill, then you got to take a chance on us not having the ring right now.
I'm used to that.
Okay, but I'm not. I'd rather have the ring. I'd rather have the ring with the guy that we drafted. It's our guy still. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it. We still got the ring. Carson is still healthy. Now get your fucking mind right, Carson, and get your own ring. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. We still got a ring with our own guy. Carson, you got hurt. It's unfortunate. You're still healthy. Get in the fucking, get your mind right and get another ring. But we still got a ring, so I'm cool with it. I love Nick Foles before Carson, when Carson was still in South Dakota. and no one knew. You know what I'm saying? So fuck it. I got a ring with Nick Foles. I'm an Eagles fan for life. Carson, you're my guy, but you're not playing like that guy right now. So if you're not gonna get a ring, regardless of the excuses, we still got it. That's how I feel.
Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think that this is a good match? Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, because it just seems like everything that Nick Foles was comfortable with, Coach Peterson was comfortable with. It doesn't seem like they're a good match that Carson is comfortable with Nick and Nick is comfortable with Carson. I don't know why. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm crazy. But just because I'm not a fan of Nick Foles, but it seemed like they worked with Nick and Coach Peterson.
Well, I think it was a perfect.
Would you say?
Oh yeah, I agree with you, because I think what the West Coast offense is so predicated on 3-step, get it out, 3-step, get it out. You know, it always has been predicated on getting the ball out of your hands fast at the quarterback position. I think why it worked so well with Nick and Doug is a lot of the RPOs to getting the ball out their hand quick. They really.
But that's what Nick was a natural pocket passer. Carson is a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Carson makes plays. He's not gonna. You can't bet on him to sit in that pocket and get that ball out 1, 2, 3 like Nick is gonna do, because Nick doesn't have that ability to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even want to do. Rome, you keep wanting to bring me back to this. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to talk about these two anymore. No, I want to talk about. I'm appreciative of Nick. I love Nick.
But that's what his question was.
No. His question was. I thought it was. Do you think that Doug's system fit Nick better? Right? Is that sort of where you're asking me? Right? Then it fits Carson.
Does it fit Nick better than Carson? Yes.
I think it does.
It should fit Carson better, because Carson is the more talented. He has every intangible, every tool to do what Nick did. So why the fuck why couldn't we do it? Why can't we do it now? You said it before, Tom. What the fuck is going on? Why can't we run a simple RPO and get, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we do the simple shit that we was doing?
Did you guys see that in the first quarter when they ran it? They ran an RPO and I was like, ooh, and it got wide open. I think he missed it by 40 feet. Like, I don't know. He could have been in a boat in the ocean and the ball ain't hitting the water. Like, I don't know where he threw that ball to. And I think he's uncomfortable with getting the ball out quick. I don't know why. Like, most guys go through their progressions. His progressions are always deep to short, and that's fine. That's fine, but I think his progressions are all out of whack. Like, a lot of times I see him getting locked on guys. He's just not he's not trustful of himself. He's not trustful of the offense. It's like, you know, they told us in year 5 he would master it. Does this look like a guy who's mastered it?
It's the exact opposite.
And that's what I hate to see, because I hate to be down on Carson, but it's like he's giving us he's not giving us anything to really thrive on. It's like he makes these 5, 6 great throws, and it's like, damn, Carson, why can't you make these throws consistently down the field? It's like, and it's frustrating. That's why I come off so passionate and so fucking like frustrated and you know, aggressive.
How about this? We
it's like, damn.
We give Howie Roseman a lot of grief here for picks, etc. Well, I mean, who the fuck picked them? So, I mean, you know, wouldn't surprise me if he didn't pan out at this point because of who picked them.
But you didn't pick this type of Carson. We picked the Carson that was Carson. You know what I'm saying? That 2017 Carson. Then he got hurt, and it's like you can't really measure that. You can't foresee that when you're Howie Roseman in 2016. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fault Howie for paying the man, because you're betting on, you know, him panning out. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you guys. Trust me, but it's like I wouldn't have paid him because I'm thinking of ahead now. You know what I'm saying? The time that we paid him, I'm like, damn, is he gonna regress or is he gonna go back to what he's been? You know what I'm saying? But since his injury, it's leaning more on his regression. You know what I'm saying? That's what I saw, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he hasn't gotten better.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What's your guys' confidence level of Carson Wentz moving forward? 1 out of 10.
7. Because because he plays in Philadelphia, so he has to hear it. As much as he says, "Oh, I don't hear it," you know what I'm saying? You play, you're a Philadelphia Eagle, you're the quarterback, so you either have to get it right, or unfortunately, like they're gonna start blaming you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get it right, and if everything gets right around you, and the mistakes remain, then you know what I'm saying? You're gonna start getting taxed on cheesesteaks in Philly.
Bobby, what do you say? What you got?
I'm 8.
An 8?
I think he can get it done. I think he doesn't trust anybody. The offensive line. I don't think he trusts the coaches. I don't think he trusts the receivers. Upstairs, in between the ears. He's got the tools to do it. I mean, he's shown us. Where's this guy gone? Is there too many coaches in the room? Is there too much in his head? You know, he's standing there changing plays. Do we know if he's changing plays or if he's so scared he's changing protection on top of changing protection? Then he looks up and the play clock's at 3. He snaps the ball, and then shit. Where's my read? Where's my read? And we're going down for another sack, another loss. I think he's got the tools to do it. I believe in him. He's shown us.
That was 7, an 8. What do you guys have, Matt?
I'm breaking up. Oh God.
I'll say a 7.
I'm at 7.
Yeah, I'm going 7 as well.
I mean, there's a lot in this offense that he does really well, but you just can't see it right now. I mean, look at the game on Monday night when they went up tempo. They drove down the field fairly easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's the things like that to me makes no sense on why they don't do it more often. Like, you're tiring out the defenses. You're not really giving them a shot to get the defense off the field. It's going to play to your benefit.
I just don't believe the guy throughout all the injuries and the head in, like, I get it. Like, he's made a lot of mistakes. I just can't believe he just completely forgot how to play football.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. Like, we've seen down years, but I just can't. It literally looks like the guy doesn't know how to play football at times. That's why I gotta think it's like it's A, B, C, and D that has led to this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like if he made his
I
mistakes.
can't with a straight face give this guy. I can't. I love him, but my confidence in him moving forward right now, I'm not going over a 5. I mean, it's just too much. It's been too much. My eyes just like forcing me to not dislike. I don't, like, he's my kid. I call him my son almost, but like comes a point of time where like I can't be on the trust tree right now. Like I know everything's going wrong around you. I get it. You're a 5-year vet now. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't just the organization hasn't done you any favors. I get all of it.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's played this year, he's really struggled. Yeah. And like I understand you know, maybe your completion percentage isn't great. Maybe you're not scoring a lot of points. A, B, C, and D. Nobody's helped him. But he's also sat in the pocket a lot too. Mm-hmm. When we've all been talking about for weeks, like, hey, this is on you. Their only scoring drive in the first half is when I said it all week, what he needed to do. He needed to run around a little bit. He needs to make plays with his feet. Okay? You don't want to talk about Jalen Hurts anymore? Go win football games. And the way you got to do it is a little different than other quarterbacks right now. You got to go run around and make plays outside the pocket. You got to extend plays. All right? I saw that the first couple weeks of the year. It's like he's like pinned himself into the pocket over the last 5 weeks. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't understand it. There's been like one rollout a week. And like, so, and we're talking about design, even him naturally rolling out of the pocket. Like, I'm not saying I'm out on him. Trust me. I love Carson. I want to have a ton of confidence in him. But right now, when you lead the league in all these categories that we've watched you lead the league in, I can't say that like I'm so confident that he's going to be the guy that I expected him to be right now. Right now. Now, there's still some football to be played. This is why I disagreed to the poll question about losing out and all that stuff, because I need it. I need to see him play better. I know he can play better. So in no way, shape, or form am I saying I'm out on him. I'm not freaking Joe Giglio trying to run the guy out of town. I want him here. I want him to be my quarterback, right? But like every game you go out, I think this is your resilient game. This is the game you're going to put it on your shoulders like you did at the end of last year. And every week you lie to me, like DeMarco Murray in a way. You're lying to me. And I'm watching it and I'm getting upset because I can't defend it much longer. I can't just continue to say, it's okay. He's going to be all right. Like, no. I mean,
can I ask you a question, Tom?
Ask away.
So if Carson was playing exceptional right now, right? And he was putting the ball where it needs to be, and he still had the numbers that he had, I would be okay with that. Would you?
If he had,
because I think that would answer a lot of questions. Then we could blame, okay, the separation, the receivers, the talent, the miscues. If he's still making, you know what I'm saying? If he's still playing at a level that a 5-year vet should be playing at, but it's on the team. Then we could say, let's look more into Doug and the play calls, and you know what I'm saying. But like dude with the hat on said, there's been allegations out there with him changing plays and having a big ego as a quarterback, and that's been counterproductive to the offense. You know what I'm saying?
What did Donovan McNabb do it here that made his accuracy go really, really south? Remember when he started bulking up? Or not getting out the pocket as much, try to stay more in the pocket. Aren't these like real familiar things happening now with Carson? I don't want you to be bulked up. You're not Ben Roethlisberger. Like, I don't need you to be just like a big guy in the pocket. Like, I drafted you too because of your skill set. If I wanted Jared Goff, I would have traded up and got him. Like, if I wanted a guy to just hang around the pocket all day, I would have went and got him. I don't know. It's just, this seems like he's going south on me. And when I need him to put some guys on his back. And I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. But at some point through one of these weeks, man, like you did in that Giants game, like put somebody on your back one time. You know, drop a dime in. Make the right read. You know, there's got to be some guys open. I can't like think that these are NFL guys and nobody's ever open. So listen, everything is an issue that goes into this. So it's not like this is all on him, you know, so it's on everybody. But he's my $100 million guy, so he's going to be looked through a microscope more.
Carson's my guy, and he's the reason why I came back home, because I was tired of losing. I was so tired of losing. And like I said, I'm a person that I watch that Reggie White defense put Joe Montana on his butt 6 times. You know, and I'm like, oh, these guys are the greatest. You know, I love these guys. And I'm thinking we're gonna win the Super Bowl every year. We don't win the Super Bowl every year. And when we got T.O., and this is, I'm not, excuse me, God, but I cursed God when we lost that Super Bowl, because I'm like, this gotta be it. There's gotta be a guy. Why would you do something like that to me? Why would you do something like that to me? So when I seen Carson, I was like, he's the guy. He's the guy. And, you know, he's the reason why I came back home. And I believe in that guy. I'm with Bobby. I believe in that guy. And I'm going to go with a 7 with him. And I just believe that it's coaching. It's the coaching that's around him. You can't tell me the guy that I looked at in 2017 that had 3,300 yards with no receivers just disappeared. He just disappeared.
And to Israel's point, I completely agree on that. Just because, like, you see going from 2017 to even after that, the last couple years, he only threw 7 interceptions 3 straight years. We have never seen, at least from my recollection, maybe someone can correct me, in the history of football, you see a guy go from an MVP candidate to have successful seasons to just completely fall off a cliff. We've never seen this before. Now, I still, like to what Israel said, I still think the guy's in there, but it's just a matter of if he's too far down in that hole, or can he be fixed? You know what I'm saying?
I
wish
believe he
Coach-
can.
so he could give him a pep talk shit, because he need it's
The front
he-
office.
I hope so.
you know what I'm saying. It's we got to stop blaming. They can't play for Carson.
No. It's not.
and we get
It's not pep. It's not pep talking.
But it's on Howie first for making the moves that he's made. You know what I'm saying? We could have made a lot of smarter moves than the moves that we made. You know what I'm saying? Like talent. It's on
Okay,
the
bro.
football.
Okay, bro. Hey, listen. Hey, bro. Listen. Okay, we can blame Howie, but what about the guy that threw the people like me last year? Howie has nothing to do with that.
We've had success with Doug Peterson and Carson post 2017, post 2018 actually, because that 5-6 start was trash. But you know what I'm saying? So it's on the quarterback. It's on the front office. It's on Doug Peterson. Three main things, I think, personally.
There's plenty of blame to go around here, fellas. I mean, this team just
You can't tell me we wouldn't have a better record if this season alone, we've been in that Rams game. We could have came back. As bad as Carson played in that game, we were still in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like that tie should have never happened. It was bad quarterback play. Like that Washington loss should have never happened. Bad quarterback play after bad coaching. I would put that one on coaching, because he should never that interception swung thing. So it's bad quarterback play and bad coaching. A lot of those things have been the turning point on these wins and losses this season. We could have easily been 6 wins in right now. As terrible as we are
Still
right
there.
now, we could eat with just good quarterback play and better coaching. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just frustrating. Like the defense hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, but the offense as a whole, like I know I gave Carson my confidence as a
And
5
the
right now.
injuries too.
I get that my confidence is a 5 right now, but that doesn't mean I'm out on him. That just means like I just don't know. I don't know. But what I will say is nobody else has helped them. Like you talk about the Rams game. That's fine. Opening drive, my MVP caliber running back, at least that's what he calls himself. Puts the ball on the turf. Opening drive against Cleveland when you need a drive. My running back, I don't care if he takes the ball 90 and you get stripped, right? That's a bad run then. You might as well be minus 90 then, okay? Because you kill us. All right, there was another game where he put the ball on the turf 4 times. I don't know if he's been on the field 4 times. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's
opposed to Carson Wentz's turnovers in Eagles territory. I mean, that's been more detrimental, but I definitely feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're all detrimental though. Like, because listen,
it's more detrimental to our wins and losses.
Not
Miles Sanders. Not Miles Sanders.
Well, are you kidding me? Bullshit. Why is he gonna pass?
You're talking about early fumbles in a game, opposed to 1 or 2 or 3 interceptions and 5, 6, 7, 8 plus bad reads and bad choices on Carson's behalf, and you're gonna blame Miles Sanders 1 or 2 fumbles early in games?
Yo, Rome. Guys are sitting with me and you when they don't hold on to the football. Like when you don't hold on to the football in this league, you're sitting right on the couch, right on a nice comfy chair with me and you. That's how it works. Miles Sanders is a run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-tier back right now. That's all he is. And
guys are getting benched week 3 for playing like Carson Wentz.
Not guys you're paying $100 million to. Ain't no guy getting paid $100 million coming.
You still got to make him accountable. I'm not saying bench him for the
I gave him a 5.
You got to bench him at a point.
I gave him a 5, but I got to be critical of everything around him too. Miles Sanders is stunk this year.
Yeah, but if you
stunk. So where's the backup? Where's the backup to my quarterback though? Where's my backup?
Every time I was watching film with the team, we was putting most of the blame. I want to say but we was making the quarterback accountable if he was detrimental to the wins and losses. Point blank, period.
No shit. He's accountable. But look at there can't be the most anymore. There's got to be time. There's got to be context in the stuff. Like, let's put some context into things.
You have to.
Who's your best? No, answer me this. Answer me this. Who is your most electric player on offense? Just riddle me that. Riddle me. Most electric player on this offense. It's not hard because there's nothing out there. There's one guy, and that's Miles Sanders. All right. So, coaching
Travis Fulgham was our most electric guy this season.
Stop. He's not electric. That's a shot in the pan. That's a mirage, is what that is. That's called a mirage in this league. Okay, because now Tape's out and he's just a guy. I don't want to hear about less snaps.
We needed that mirage.
No, we didn't need shit. I would rather not have the mirage. We'd be tanking for Lawrence. What I'm saying to you is like that's your tag team guy. That's your second best player outside of you as the quarterback. Like, that's a guy you want to get the ball in his hands. Well, from drops to fumbles, like, as a coaching staff, like, you want to know why he's not getting touches? Don't put the ball on the turf. Like, you don't have a pedigree. These are his issues going back to college. So we're talking about a guy not getting better. Miles Sanders hasn't gotten better from Penn State till now. And all Penn State fans know it because it was his biggest knock coming out of college. That he put the ball in the
running back compared to a quarterback who touches the ball first, come on now, you can't simply be arguing Miles Sanders and his couple of mistakes. Okay, answer me this. How many mistakes has Miles Sanders made, and can you count them on your hands? Because I can. And how many mistakes has Carson Wentz made? Because I can't count those on my hand. So you answer me that.
Wait, you can't count Carson's or you can't count Miles?
No. I could count Miles Sanders. I could count his mistakes on my hands. I can't count Carson's mistakes on my hands because he has more than 10.
Oh, I'll disagree with you. I absolutely disagree. I can go too. You might need a third hand for Miles because I'll talk about 29% drop rate like DB just talked about. I'll talk about a wide open drop in the end zone against the Ravens. I'll talk about 4 different fumbles. I'll talk about missed block assignments, right? To protect your quarterback.
6.
Look at the touch differential. Look at the touch differential, Rome. Are you kidding me? One guy's touching the ball. One guy's throwing the ball 50 times a fucking game. He's throwing about 50 times a game.
6 yards a carry. We was blaming Doug Peterson for not giving him the ball.
No, I ain't giving the ball to Barry Sanders if he puts it on the turf. Barry Sanders ain't getting the ball if he puts it on the turf. It's how this league works. So we're talking about a guy who's not getting the football because all he does is say, "Here you go, honey. You take this with you. I don't want it."
He
right?
was averaging 5 or 6 yards a carry this season.
That's all smoke and mirrors to me. That's all smoke and mirrors when the ball's on the turf. That doesn't matter. That's like, Occasionally. He leads the league in fumbles. What are we talking about? He's missed 3 games or 4 games, and over his carries, he leads the league in fumbles.
That's a running back. You're
no
talking
shit.
about your franchise quarterback, and you still haven't went over 10 mistakes.
Listen, what are we going to do? We'll do a Fan Friday breakdown film session. I guarantee you, I can find it.
I love it because it's real talk. It's what Carson needs to hear.
I gave him a 5. What else do I got to do? I'm smoking him right now. I'm literally putting him over my knee. I bet him over my knee. I can't do anything for him. But I got to talk about the rest that's been atrocious around him.
Listen, Miles Sanders and his early fumbles, we can make up for that. We made up for that in the.
We aren't good enough to make up for it. We stink offensively. We stink.
Put up 7 and we're putting up 3.
Hey Tom, do you smoke, man? We gotta smoke one time.
We'll get together. Listen, I love that you come on, give me something to argue with me about too. Like you guys were all higher on Carson moving forward than I was, and then it's like I feel like I'm defending him again. I feel like I'm circling back to defend him again. That's all I've been doing.
No. Listen, it's just that I love the guy so much. You know, I seen the upside in the guy, and I still believe in the guy. But shit, he's playing like crap. He's playing like crap.
I gave.
I'm just.
listen,
I have a bias with him. I have a bias with him. That's my guy.
It's my guy too.
I'm giving
I
him a
just went
7
five.
because I
Oh, you guys went higher. I was like, somebody's got to be an asshole here and give him
It's
a
the
5.
whole team.
yeah, it's the whole team exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, good comment.
No, I just look at it. Listen, I gave him a 7 for this reason. Number one, I actually thought I was going to be one of the low ones. Like I thought, I won't go 6 because I feel like there's going to be some higher ones. I'll go 7. And 2, I'm like, well, we're stuck with him for the next year, so I might as well go with 7 because we're not trading him because we're not taking the $50 million, whatever the hell the cap hit is.
Yep.
And 2, like I said, there's no way this guy just forgot how to play football. I would believe that he's doing this on purpose instead of him just forgetting. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way he's this bad. I'm not trying to say he's 2017 good. I'm not like people were like, oh, well, he's trying to say he's 2017. No, I'll take friggin' the second half of 2019 at this point. You kidding me? Like, I'm not even going to 2017 anymore. Give me what I saw in that small sample size from last year. Give me that for an entire season. I'll be cool. Like,
Yo, how much you want to bet something? You want to bet Bill's a Penn State guy?
Oh,
I'm just going Bill. I think you are. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, because he's defending Mom. Yeah, he's defending
His daddy coming home. Is the Penn State? We ours coming home for their son right now to defend him. Bill, let me tell you something. If Carson fucking Wentz came into this year, Bill, and said, "Hey, I'm going to win MVP. I'm going to be an MVP conversation," and he played like he played, we'd be running his ass out of town. Miles Sanders says it, and it's like, well, it's okay. It's just Miles. I love the confidence. He's been a bottom tier running back in the grand scheme of things. Look around the whole league. I mean, I can name. We talking about hand games. I can name 10 on my hand. I'd rather take over Miles. 10.
I'd rather have fucking Josh Jacobs. I think he's one of the best young backs in the league. If we had that guy,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if he was on the board,
he's the reason why we have Miles, because the Eagles were going for him. The Eagles were going for him, and Raiders snatched him up.
That's my point I was about to make. If he was on the boards and we didn't take that guy, I would be calling for Howie's head right now.
I'm calling for his head now.
I mean, yeah, but
you watch,
I'm
Rome.
calling for his whole goddamn body. He got to go.
Yeah, Rome, you watch. It doesn't even matter if he was on the board. We would have taken a freaking kicker or something, or we would have taken a backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the same guy drafted. You know, what I mean? I'm glad he was off the board because it saved us the pain.
Nah,
it saved us the friggin' pain.
I think we would have took him.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. So. I don't believe in that guy anymore. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I've had too much pain.
I feel you.
Hey guys, before I go, because we've been ranting about the Eagles, who I love so much with all my heart, and I think this is something that everybody can chime in because of the Sixers. And Tom knows I can't stand Ben Simmons. I can't stand that guy. I can't stand Ben Simmons, and I don't know basketball. I love football, but if you pick up your dribble, doesn't that mean you take yourself out the game? Doesn't that mean that?
Well, the one thing they tell the point guard is never
make you pick up your dribble because you can't shoot the ball. You're out the fucking game, Ben. You are the weakest link. You are the weakest link. So if you can't shoot the ball, how can a team win a championship with a player that can't shoot the ball? Somebody help me out,
great please.
Great. The biggest rule of a point guard is never pick up your dribble. It's like point guard 101. They teach you when you're like 5.
That's
like,
superstar 101. A superstar never picks up his dribble.
Let's hope one thing.
But this he plays the game backwards. He goes up, he dribbles the ball, and he jumps around and turns backwards and passes. Like, I thought you were supposed to play the game forward and go triple hoop like Allen Iverson and draw the foul. Somebody help me understand.
It's crazy. I'm with you. I'm
gonna be silent because I'm gonna really get bashed if I talk about that.
Listen, to me, this guy is a flash in the pan. You know, he's like the girl with the fat butt and the legs and the pretty girl. You know what I'm saying? But you know, inside, you know, she's garbage. You know, she's
I think you developed it before. and you develop his little hook shot, and you develop him as a Draymond Green type of guy that could occasionally hit the open three if he develops that. But I don't think you try to develop his pull up and jump shot, because if he's already in the league now, you know what I'm saying, muscle memory isn't gonna change overnight for him to just start pulling up that wide open three, or that three that when you need it, when the ball's in his hands, when the game's on the line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's your guy, your franchise point guard, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have like a De'Aaron Fox at the 1, a shooter at the 2, with Ben at the 4 or the 3, you know what I'm saying? And JoJo down low. But that's just my take on it.
I know what you're thinking. Like, this is my only thing. I am very critical of Ben Simmons, but in like almost like a weird positive way, right? And it's like I'm trying to help him grow, like a chia pet. You know what I mean? A little water every day, a little jab, couple little jabs at him, and I hope he grows from it. Freak talent. Not many guys in the league can do what he does. Not many guys at his size can run the court like he does. There isn't a guy in basketball that's 6'10" that can switch on anybody in the league and lock you up. Not many guys can do that. So I know what his deficiencies are on the offensive side. Now, this is a guy who's averaged 15, 16 points a game without a jumper, and it's gotten better at certain things. So that's like where I take the positives from, right? We talk about this players developing year in, year out. Ben's gotten better every year in some facet of his game. So I'm going to hold on tight to that, because I do believe he has like freak Giannis skills somewhere in there. I believe he has freak LeBron basketball IQ skills somewhere in there. Because I've seen it. I've seen him run the court. I've seen him with shooters around him. You know, but does he need to have some sort of mid-range game? Yeah, because the dude can take anybody in the league off the dribble, because he's that explosive. His first step's so fast. Like, he's so skilled that it is like that girl, right? Like, it's just that skilled that I think part of us as a fan base, we're rushing him a little bit, because veterans win in this league. Like, veterans cut down nets, not 24-year-olds. They just don't. It just doesn't happen. And the fact that he's still 24 years old, I mean, he's got better every year. There's no part of me that doesn't think Ben Simmons doesn't take another step in some facet of his game this year.
Tom, you've heard me say it a lot, and I truly believe it. He's a victim of his own greatness. It's what he is. He's a victim because everything came so easy to him his entire life. I honestly think it's two things. Number one, I think the fan base in a way is a little unfair, and I'm one of listen, I was saying 5 weeks ago that I would trade friggin' James Harden for him, or I would trade him for James Harden. So I'm talking about myself here. But I think it's because everything came so easy to him that he never felt like he needed to do the extra aggressiveness. Like, I'm not even there with the jump shot. Like, if he does it, great. He will be unstoppable. I just want him to be aggressive. I want him to, to Israel's point, to where I want him to get away from going into, a foot away from the basket and then doing a 360 and turn around and passing it. Finish up strong. You're dominant. You're gigantic. You know what I'm saying? You can match up with anybody in the league, whether it's a point guard or a center. You know what I'm saying? Be you. And I know he does it to where, he feels like, if I'm not great at something, I'm not going to do it. And that's why he doesn't shoot. I understand that. But there's so many other things that you're not doing that you can control, that you are great, because we've seen you do it, but we just need it more from you. I think that's the biggest frustration, at least for me.
No, it makes sense. Hey, Bill, buy a clue, okay? Because you're gonna tell me I flip flop on guys. You do freaking 7,000 hours a week talking, and you tell me that your opinion's not gonna differ a little bit. All right, Bill? And I don't flip flop on nobody, because when have I been Mr. Miles Sanders? When have I slept head to toe with Miles in bed? I don't recall even loving the pick that much when everybody was freaking running around. Like, Miles Sanders can play Penn State. Okay, I wasn't even overly excited about it. I liked the kid, but everybody thought he was Saquon Barkley. Like, calm the freak down. So I don't know where I flip-flopped on him. I don't know where I ever flip-flopped on Carson. Besides keeping it real, Bill, I don't know. There's no agenda, Bill. So sometimes I got to say my kids don't play well enough. Carson hasn't played well enough. One of my kids. How's that flip-flopping? How is me telling you that Miles Sanders hasn't been good enough flip-flopping. I don't understand. I think that's truthful. You can take however you want to. You go listen to Dial then, and they'll stick on guys they love and never tell you that, hey, he's just not playing good enough. And they'll tell you about everything else. I don't know. Bill loves the freaking Bill. You've been saying you're going to come on H&E for like 42 years now, I feel like. So come on and expose me. I want to be exposed because I guarantee typing behind it, Bill, makes you feel so easy to say, I'm going to expose you. And then the lights come on. The lights come on. Right? And then, can you do it? Can you? I don't think you can, Bill.
He says next week.
I love Bill.
Bill.
So back to Ben Simmons.
His takes up.
And then you guys remember a player named Eric Snow? I'm sure you do. Didn't have a jump shot. Did not have a jump shot, but worked on his jump shot. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, because everybody wants Ben to shoot a 3. No, Ben, I just want you to hit a 6 or a 12-footer. Hit a 6 or 12-footer. So that's why I mentioned Eric Snow, because he did not have a jump shot. He wasn't a jump shot, and it started to kill the league. And I believe that was one of the reasons why we got to the finals. So, Ben, help me out. Just shoot the ball. Work on what you're not good at and come back and help this city out. If not, take you and your sister that's always on Twitter that got something to say about my city and get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Couldn't agree more on that. Dale, my name's Tom. So you might have been exposing to Tony. You sure as hell haven't been exposing to Tom. Like, how you expose me in a keyboard? Like, how do you expose me? Like, what?
Who the F is this guy? I've never seen him.
Okay.
Who is this guy?
Wait, what is this? I created a platform called Agree to Disagree. So what facts can't I handle? I'm cool with being wrong. I'm cool with you disagreeing with me. It's what makes it fun. If we all sat on here and said, oh, yeah, we all agree. The show's over in 30 seconds. It's over in 30 seconds. We hit start and we hit stop.
Look at Rich. He's giving
These trolls. What the hell?
I'll say plenty of shit.
Everyone's doing this, but Ryan can send y'all the link. Jump on.
Yep. I'll give you a DM, personal DM, just from A2D.
What narrative do I have? I don't know. Did I miss saying something tonight, guys? I say a lot of shit, so I don't run from that. A lot of stuff comes out of my mouth, but what's fitting my agenda and narrative? What?
Tom, what they don't know is you do a show a night and maybe 2 times a day. Like, your emotions change from Sunday to Friday to Saturday to next Sunday. Your emotions and your thinking is going to change. So I get what you're saying, and these guys are just, I don't know, they're exposing you.
I mean, I feel dirty right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I gotta get a shower before bed now because of what Bill and Dill did to me tonight. You know, I got family on that is coming on to enjoy the show with us. Fan Friday, we got everybody on. We got a bunch of guys on. You guys are doing this to me. So this is how you guys repay me out there? Is that how you repay me, Bill, for sending you a fucking link? That's how you repay me? All right? That link's going to have a block next to it when you try to come on. You'll be like, oh, Bill, block. Listen, I love you, Bill, but I mean, Bobby said it right, and I think I speak for anybody who does this that's a fan of it. I don't think any of us run from being fans. Your emotions you go through the gauntlet of emotions. I mean, Monday night, I said fire everybody. Like, everybody. Tuesday, I'm like, maybe give Doug one more year.
It's
Let's really shit back in a little bit.
It's the evolving nature of sports fans. That's what it is. Like, friggin'
What did I say Wednesday, Rye? We're going to win this game. Watch.
I was going right there, Tom. I was going to say Wednesday, it was not even 2 full days ago. You know what I'm saying? To where I was saying, okay, well, the Eagles are probably going to lose like 30-16. Now I've evolved so much to where instead of 30-16, I'm going 38-12. See the difference, Bill? See the difference? See, it's evolving. I'm not flip-flopping. It's evolving.
Did Dylan really just say that Tom was mad because the Giants are in first place? Congratulations. You are literally the golden trash bag in a trash pile. So.
I think Dylan's struggling.
Is terrible.
I mean, look at his logo. Right? I mean, I think he's struggling because
they don't have a roster.
Yeah, Oklahoma City literally doesn't have a team anymore.
They got
might as well be the superstar.
Al Horford. So
they got Al Horford and you have like 2.
Enjoy Anna. That'll be fun for you.
Yeah. God.
Bill, you know I love
point.
it, Bill. I'm here. I'm here for you to attack. But the dog pound thing, what? Because I always like Baker? I like Baker's mocks. All right? I'm a mocks guy, especially at the quarterback position. You got to have mocks to play that position. You got to be, is Baker like your prototypical quarterback? No, I mean, a lot of their success is because they can run the football and they got a really good defense. But I don't know. I'm not a Browns fan. So, I mean, I might rather be a Browns fan right now. I feel like they got a better direction, which is crazy.
Don't say that.
While we have everybody, does everyone want to give one of their biggest surprises of the NFL season regarding, it could be a player or a team?
Yeah, I'll just go first because mine's easy because I put a post about it in August. I said Carson Wentz was going to be the MVP of the league. I had so many high hopes for him, and he punched me square in the gut. So my 5 comes from me being that upset with him because I'm not going to run from it. I said it. I really thought that this was going to be that 2017 year again for him, and I was so wrong about so many things when it comes to this football team. That's my one big.
My biggest surprise was Justin Jefferson. 900 semi yards, 11 games. I knew the guy came from the NFL. Offense that was in LSU, but I didn't think that he was going to be this. And I wanted him, but I didn't think he was going to be this. And so that makes me hate Howie even more. So my biggest surprise is Justin Jefferson. He might have about 1,400 yards before the year is over.
It's great one.
For me, it's got to be the Miami Dolphins. 7-4. What is it? 7-4, 8-4, something like that.
Better than us. I know that. They're better than us.
Oh, way better than us. Just, they're getting good play from Fitzpatrick. It seems to be some form of an ageist wonder. They bring in Jordan Howard and don't even use him. Myles Gaskin really takes over at the running back position. Wide receivers have been pretty solid. The defense has played really well for the Dolphins. I expected them to be another 3-4 win team this year. They're fighting for a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Bobby?
Jeffrey Lurie.
Ooh.
Okay.
He's seen 2 years of this and hasn't stepped in. No balls. Get the last 4 or 5 games. Wentz, we turned it on. That dude carried this team on his back. That's what a lot of people forget that too. He picked up the team with no one around him, and we just sit there and see it again. His face in the mask, and he's looking there. How he's packing up binoculars. Why the hell is he not packing a fucking box?
I'm still on the chat with the sports guy still talking. I'm going to call you, babe.
No one.
Hey, you guys. Hey. Hey, I'm not trying to sleep on your couch tonight.
At least you got video proof where you're at.
That was like a top 5 moment.
Oh, that's
or none.
That might be top 3, man.
I like my life. I like to stay alive.
I like Bobby's though. Bobby's is different right there though because
I do like that.
That 2 years to watch this continue to get worse and sit on his hands.
Rome?
I'm gonna stay in-house with Philly, and I'm gonna go with our medical staff or whatever the fuck we are medically. Like it seems like we're just training people. You know what I'm saying? Like and it's the consistency in the injuries in-house. It's like
you got medical internships.
Yeah, that's what it's seriously like what's going on at the NovaCare Center. Like that's my biggest thing, and it's like I've been looking at that
no one cares.
for a few seasons now, and it's like, damn, all of our stars or all of our starters seem to consistent. Like I understand it's football and it happens throughout the league, but it's like, can we at least come out fresh for half the season first, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Could we at least see our starters for a consistent period of time? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, could we at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, seem like we know what we're doing, or you know what I'm saying? So that's been like the biggest shocker to me, to see guys go down so quickly and so early again. And you know what I'm saying? It seems like every year we have a season ending injury with a main guy. So it's like that's really
No, I feel you, bro, man. It just feels like it's the last few years that I feel like this is probably the most injured team in all of football. And I know injuries happen, and every team's got to deal with it. But I feel like the Eagles deal with it more than any other team.
Exactly.
Jake?
I think my biggest surprise this year, hands down for me, is Justin Herbert.
Damn
Justin
you.
Herbert is
Damn you.
absolutely phenomenal. 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, just over 3,000 yards. Dude, I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't think he was going to be this good this fast. It's just amazing. And obviously, I thought the Chargers were going to be on like a bit of like sort of a hiatus. They're not going to be good for a little bit. Develop Justin Herbert, but it's the transition from Phillip Rivers to Justin Herbert. It's like that. It's awesome. It's awesome, and he's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm gonna go the NFC East as a whole, okay? Because listen, I know that we weren't saying the Washington and the Giants. We nobody thought that those two were either gonna make the playoffs or win the Super Bowl or anything. But I think we all, as a group, I think you could talk about all the fans in the NFC East, thought that all their teams got a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? To where the Giants, their offensive line, their defense got a little better. Daniel Jones going into his second year. Obviously we didn't expect Saquon to go out and miss pretty much the entire year. They looked like they had a direction finally. Washington, you knew what their defense was, and you had weapons on the outside. It looked like they got a little bit better. The Cowboys, they once again, they have so much talent, but they do nothing with it. And it looked like, hey, Jason Garrett's the reason why they've been struggling. You get in somebody who's actually won a Super Bowl in McCarthy. He flat out sucks. And their defense is one of the worst of all time, to where, even if people didn't have them winning the division, they flat out suck. And then to everyone's point here, with everything that's going wrong with the Eagles, like if you would have told me, listen, as bad as 2020 is, I wouldn't even have expected we'd be sitting here thinking we're going to be literally in the middle of the worst division in the history of football since the merger. I never would have expected that.
Just the Cowboys and Eagles alone. I mean, you were like, okay, there's 2 10-win, 11-win teams right there. Who's going to win it? Yeah, this hasn't gone. Well, the NFC East sums up 2020. Like, if you want to, you want to know how 2020 is going, just peek in on the NFC East for sure. Bri, did you go, Bri?
Yeah, I went with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was going to go with Herbert too. And then I guess you could call it a flip-flop, as Bill would say. I remembered I had an opportunity to expose myself for Carson, so I took every opportunity to do that. Not expose Carson, expose myself, because guys running around here freaking with pom-poms like, hey, he's got MVP. He's last in like every major category that you don't want your quarterback being last in. So
I got a question for us, Tom. All right, so we seen how Brandon Graham panned out with, the early expectations of him being great and then being great later on in his career. So who out of the past, I'll say 3 draft classes, or 4, because did we draft Barnett in 2017 or 16?
It was technically 2017, but it was before the Super Bowl.
Okay, his draft. Since that draft class, who do you think has the potential to be like a Brandon Graham type of Eagle, for us? Didn't pan out, but made a name for himself later on after us calling him a bust.
Well, I mean, he's not here anymore.
Sydney.
Who? Brandon Graham?
It was Sydney.
Oh,
it was Sydney to me before this year started. That's the guy I pegged as that guy. I mean, look, we can only go by players' responses to adversity. And when he had adversity and wasn't on the field and still trying to get himself fully NFL ready, he made 2 of the biggest plays of our whole season last year. So you're like, oh, man, all we asked for is a response in sports. What's your response going to be? And he gave us that. And Brandon Graham talked about him on a high level. I mean, that was the guy that's not here that I thought was going to be that guy. Outside of Sydney, Barnett's people have always been like high on. So because he had such a good rookie year that it made that easier. So he didn't get a lot of pressure his rookie year. I'm going to say Jalen Reagor. And it's going to surprise some people because I'm not the biggest Jalen Reagor guy out there. But I'm a big pedigree guy. I'm a big believer Dad played in the league. He can help you with some things. I think part of it, his problem is being young and thinking he's playing at TCU, where everybody's going to pat you on the ass, win or lose. This is big time football now, buddy. It's not how it goes. So I think it's a learning curve for him. It happens. Not every rookie wide receiver comes in and is big time impactful or their full product year one. I'm going to more hopeful. I'm going to hope that this kid's tough like we think he is, and he's willing to continue to work and become the guy we use that pick on. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to ever be a top 5 wide receiver in this league, but a legitimate one, a guy you can say, hey, that's my playmaker on the outside, or that's the guy who can take any ball to the house. I'm hoping he can turn into that. So I'll go with that because he's been through so much scrutiny just over 11 games, rightfully so. That I'll say it's him because he's always going to be looked at Jefferson like I think BG's always going to be looked at Thomas, right? They're connected at the hip. JJ, we can't say that's ever going to be. We know that. So we're not going to ever say, oh, he's going to make us not forget about DK. No. Hopefully Jalen can make us forget about Justin Jefferson. How confident am I in that? But I'll go with him.
I'm not sure if this guy qualifies. Does Dallas Goedert count?
It counts, but he's not up against it. Nobody hates him. That's the problem. People want to Brandon Graham out after 1 year. People were done with him.
Well,
Thomas was making plays all day.
The reason why I bring him up is because we were talking about it at the beginning of the show, Tom. We've said a lot that Dallas looked like one of those guys, one of those picks to where when he's here, we see signs, but whether it's the injuries or the consistency, he hasn't been able to put it all together. I truly believe that this guy, and I'll just give him this because I think his ceiling is this high. I believe that he has the potential to be a future top 7, maybe even top 5 tight end in this league. Honestly, just because of the skill set, just because I believe he can add so much. So just because his ceiling is so high, and I know he's not up against it. He's not being ripped by the fan base. He's kind of, it seems like Miles and the Arcega-Whitesides are getting ripped more than him as far as second-round picks goes. But I just think a guy who's still technically, a backup, second stringer, and he hasn't been able to put it all together, I'm gonna go with Dallas Goedert here just because I think his potential is still so friggin' high.
This is a great one right here.
Yeah, that's a great name too. Wow. That probably will be it because it fits the same mold.
Well, Reagor fits the mold more because there's nobody you're yelling, oh, you should have had him over Andre Dillard, right? There isn't that yelling going around about that one right now. I mean, I'm sure I can go look at the draft and say, yeah.
But I actually, you're spot on with your first thing because it was no matter what in that draft, it was always going to be offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That was an offensive line draft for us, and there's nobody. I could double check. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but there's nobody who jumps off the page there. That comes later in that draft in the second and third rounds.
Yeah. So I'll go Jalen, but any name's fine. It doesn't matter. Any guy who hasn't been great right away factors into it. You guys have anybody different?
My guy is
nobody.
You say nobody?
Nobody. And Tom, your guy you just brought up is he's too inconsistent for me. And I have these arguments with my family, and they'll say, "Well, they don't put him on the field enough, or he's been injured." And I'm like, "Isn't this the guy that broke Reggie White's sack record? What in the where is he at on the field?" Was it? Yeah. He had that play, the Super Bowl play or whatever. But his whole entire since he got here to now, I mean, he's just average to me. He's average.
If I told you this was his best, like if I told you this was his best year, you'd be like, "What?" Right? Like that's how weird Derek Barnett's career has been. Like this has been his most consistent year, numbers wise. It's nuts. Remember everybody said that night, "Oh, we got Reggie's cousin." It's like the reincarnation of Reggie White. Like, are you guys freaking okay? I mean, granted, Reuben Foster doesn't look better.
Oh God!
But that doesn't matter. Who knows if he would have gotten his all domestic issues if he's in the right culture, right? If he's in the right culture, he probably has 120 tackles, or he's injured. But Derek Barnett is that weird one because, man, that's why I tell people all the time, guys, we watch football so long in this city that we can just sniff stuff, right? Like when people start getting overhyped, you're like, oh, stop it. Like on draft night, Reggie White, or like Travis Fulgham, 4 games. Literally, T.O. I had a guy inbox me something, bring up Jerry Rice, like straight face, brought up Jerry Rice. I said, what are you talking about? He said, oh, he's like a Jerry Rice T.O. combo. I said, what? What are we doing? No, he's not. But this is what we do. We get carried away. That's what we should do as fans. But like, we have this more projections for guys that are realistic. Like just because a guy broke Reggie White's sack record, that's what we're putting him up against when he comes into this city. Like that's what in today's day and age, where there's social media, like these guys see everything. So we're putting him in comparison of the greatest pass rusher of all time, not just like of a decade. Hey, he's the best pass rusher of a decade. The minister of defense. You understand what that means to the people out there listening? The minister. All right, like you don't get better than the minister of defense. Like that's huge. Like the White House should assign a role called the minister of defense. Like I think that'd be a great role. But whatever. Like so, we put these guys in them expectations like day one, right? And like same thing with Jalen Reagor, like because where we drafted him and what he should be, it's like, hey, you got to be this guy right now. And it's like because we reach on picks 10 spots too high or 5 spots too high. Yep. That's what we do. We reach. So then you reach on a guy, and then we expect him to be somebody he's not right away. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that player. And I understand they should block it out. They should listen, today's athlete is different, man. Today's athlete is not the same as it was even 10 years ago. Today's athlete wants to see their names mentioned on Twitter. Today's athlete is always on their phone. Today's athlete says stuff so they can go listen to their own soundbite. All right? The athlete's different today. The athlete today needs to be coddled more than punished, right? It's weird. It's weird. That's just the way a 2020 athlete is. I don't know why. Not every one of them, but like enough of these young kids come in the league and they're blown back by like if they come to a big market like Philly. Like, whoa. Like if you're coming from TCU. You think Jefferson would have been phased coming to Philly from LSU? Absolutely not. Because when they lose an LSU, you get smoked. You lose at TCU, nobody cares. And that's the difference. That's the difference. Like you lose at a big school, you're used to the pressure, right? Like if we were a smart fan base, we would just say, hey, let's just draft. We're only drafting guys from power schools. Like power schools. Bama, Auburn, Georgia. There's plenty of them go to. I mean, go to the Big Ten too, Ohio State, whatever. Like big-time schools that are always fighting for national championships. Like if I kept missing, I would just go back to that and say, hey, maybe I should just try this because maybe these kids come in with less pressure. I don't know. I'm searching. Freaking searching.
But you got to look for more than that on the field because, you know what I'm saying, there's diamonds in the rough at the same time. But absolutely, you know what I'm saying, that does factor into it, you know, being able to amass the pressures of a big game and the magnitudes of big moments, you know, that factors into a player's psyche and a player, you know, ultimately, you know, transferring that to the league. But you never know until a player is put in that moment. But that is the best thing to, you know, judge them off of. So
I don't want no more diamonds in the rough Mel Kiper said, draft the best bird player on the board. Mel Kiper been doing this for years. I don't want a diamond in the rough anymore. You draft the best player on the board.
I'm not saying try to draft the JJ Arcega over DK. That was stupid. You go with the talent. In that case, like that, what? Because he fucking broke his neck and you're scared that he might get hurt in the league? No, he's a fucking football player. You draft that guy. He's a fucking, you know what I'm saying? He's an animal. So that was stupid. So I feel you, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying take a chance on a Donnell Pumphrey. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm thinking logically. I'm just saying that there's diamonds in the rough. Maybe we still haven't even seen what the fuck Quez Watkins could do. So I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of disappointed in him because I lobbied for him on Instagram. I really did, but it's like you either can play or you can't play. And if you can play, the coaches are going to see it and they're going to put you in.
Mm-hmm.
So you must be doing something in practice that's saying, damn, this kid can't play. This kid can't play. So like, I'm kind of disappointed in the kid. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong because, like I said, this year, I don't want no more diamonds in the rough. Dalvin Cook could have been my running back, not Sidney Jones, my cornerback. I don't want no more diamonds in the rough.
If you just watch college football, like just paid attention to it all that year, Dalvin Cook, his whole 4 years at FSU was a bell cow. Like the definition of a bell cow, all 4 years at FSU. Like this wasn't a flat. He was a guy, you want to put in somebody's gut 25 times and they'll withstand it. That was Dalvin Cook coming out of FSU. I mean, the team wasn't as good as they were in years past, but he was their entire offense. And you're right. You pass for another Pac-12 guy. I just think Howie loves traveling out there. You know, he enjoys the travels. Travels out to the West Coast because I just feel like he just doesn't, I don't know, anymore with him.
Well, Howie needs to travel to Guantanamo Bay, get himself a little chair in the deck in the office, and never come back.
I agree with that.
My diamond in the rough is different. It's probably not what you're thinking. It's not necessarily the guy that's a D3 guy. You know what I'm saying? It could be a D1, a high prospect, but maybe there might be issues. You know what I'm saying? You know how guys, how the media likes to construe personal life and on the field. Those are the type of things that I'm going off of. You know what I'm saying? Like the off-field issues that we might not be willing to take a chance on, but the guy could play. You know what I'm saying? And we see guys and franchises ultimately take chances on, you know what I'm saying, those type of guys. That's basically what I'm saying in diamond in the rough.
You know what's crazy, guys? Like I'm right behind like the camera right here. I've got the replay of the Kansas City Chiefs Tampa Bay Bucks game from this past weekend. And you could probably see like the past 2 minutes, like the pain on my face. I'm watching Tyreek Hill all over the damn field. And then this guy in our front office thought Rager was this guy. And I get it. He has a great quarterback. He has Andy. I get it. But come on. Like you're trying to say that Rager was anything like it's not even this. It's like they're playing two different sports.
Mm-hmm. Who do we draft over Tyreek Hill that year? Mulata?
Yep. No. I'm sorry.
We drafted Vaitai.
Vaitai.
Yeah. One pick. Right after you go from Vaitai to Tyreek Hill.
But what's funny about that, bro, is
how does Howie not see this shit?
Wasn't he doing that with Alex Smith too?
What about Alex Smith?
He was doing that with Alex Smith too, wasn't he? Before Mahomes got his start.
That's why, like, people were like, "Oh, before Mahomes, he was only a punt returner." What?
Listen, credit to him, man. The kid's a flat out worker. Tyreek Hill. He puts the work in. He's a human joystick. But credit to him, he got better. You know what I mean? He got better. He was a 5th round pick. He probably, I'm guessing, off of some of his NFL history, that he probably had some baggage thought of coming in on probably why he dropped to the 5th round. Because how electric he is, you would see that's a top 3-round pick automatically. If anybody watched him run around. But I'm assuming there was some sort of little baggage to make him drop as far as he did. Like there had to be.
I think it was a domestic issue, if I remember correctly.
I'm just connecting dots because supposedly his kid was scared of him. Not sure if I believe that. I don't know what to believe anymore because a lot of these women look for things to tie these guys into. So it's hard to know like what's true, what's not. Seems like a good dude. Seems like a good kid. I don't know. Perception's reality, I guess. It's going away. Hopefully it's not real, dude, because I really don't. Your kid should never be that scared of you. But that's my guess on why he went as late as he did, and there was something like Jalen Mills, another one, like ended up being an air quote model citizen, like hasn't gotten any trouble in the NFL. But when he was a kid in college, he had some issues. I mean, it happens. These guys are kids. We forget that too. Like 18-year-old kids coming out of big colleges where they're giving everything they want. Guess what? You're gonna have some issues. Are you looking for somebody to bring home to mommy and daddy, or are you looking for football players? I'm not looking to have a great Thanksgiving dinner with everybody or Christmas dinner. I'm looking for ball players. Okay, I don't care what they do. I mean, we don't want Greg Hardy's. We all understand that. Outside of that, I would have signed Kareem Hunt the next day. The next day. Oh, you want to cut him? Sure, I'll wait it out. Because he's talented. He's talented. And if you believe, like the Eagles claim they do, that you have such this great atmosphere, this great environment that you're going to put these athletes in, then don't shy away from anything. Some of the best players of all time either had a little diva in them, had a little,
or do coke.
Yeah. Look at the White House in Dallas. They still haven't stopped blowing them. Them strippers are like 80 years old. They're still blowing them off.
Do coke. I don't give a fuck.
Player in the league, Lawrence Taylor. There's more coke than everything.
Hey, I think Mike hit a line after that fucking first championship. Shit.
Right, did. But it's like, it's.
By the way, Tyreek Hill on the broadcast just scored his 3rd touchdown. Just keeping you guys updated in case you missed the game.
I was watching that last night as I was on with Chucks and Pete, and was thinking in my head like, didn't Chucks tell me he was like a light Tyreek Hill? And I was like watching the game.
I believe the quote was Steve Smith combined with Tyreek Hill. I believe that was a direct quote
on YouTube.
Listen, man, we are doing a marathon here. Because listen, we want this for you guys to get a chance to come on and bullshit it and muck it up with us. It's freaking a ton of fun. Hoping you guys, you can do it next Friday. Hop in with us again. I want to leave you guys on as long as you guys want to stay on. I'm not trying to. I should have just left. Todd on here. Feel bad now. You know what I mean? Guys calling from Germany. I was trying to speed the call line up. I didn't realize I could just have everybody on at one time. So this is even better. But man, can't thank you guys enough for jumping on though, and bullshitting with us. Ton of fun.
I'm out of here.
I'll see you,
Man,
Rob.
it's a pleasure, man. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is the Super Bowl hat. This is the Super Bowl hat from Minnesota. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yep.
And I love this team with all my heart. When I go to work and I got to deal with kids' parents and the kids acting up and all that stuff, I look forward to drinking a beer and smoking a cigar and my Eagles. That's what I look forward to. I'm a blue-collar worker, so it was a pleasure to get on here with you guys. A pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, pleasure to have you, my man. We've been talking for a while. It was good. It was good to have all you guys on here.
For sure.
Listen, guys, we'll do it next Friday again. So we appreciate you boys. Brian Daly, thanks for jumping on with us, my man.
Yeah, guys.
Jake, thanks for not falling asleep on us.
No problem. You did a couple times.
Jake was on. He's got a long day out of him. We make him go on late here. But thank you everybody for joining us. We're doing this every Friday, guys. So all you gotta do is send us a DM and we'll send you the link. It's as easy as that. I'd like to thank our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. No Princeton, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Tons of shows tomorrow. Set your alerts. Subscribe, download, follow. You know the deal.